All right, all right. I feel like I need to make a fire. It is chilly. What up, Cat? How you doing this evening? He says, "Good evening, Dash." Hello, sir. How you doing, man? Here, let's do this. Go ahead and paste the linky link. If you care to join us, feel free to join us. TJ, what up? What up? He says, "Good evening, everyone." What up, TJ? How you doing this evening? TJ's here on time tonight. Yeah. Don't let I mean, just messing with you, man. Thanks for joining me. Us. Huh. Hmm. So TJ, is that like Trey there with you? Is I see the kid in the picture. Is he Trey? Let's see. Yeah. You guys on Duolingo? I just did my Duolingo lesson. Oh man. Jimmy! He said, "What's up? How you doing, Jimmy?" Oh, he's a mini TJ, but not the same first name. Okay, all right. So, all right, that is that is kind of wild. So if he's TJ and you're TJ, what do they call you? Do they call like me? My taste tester number one and I have the same first name. So there's taste tester number two. Uh, holy cow! So I am now senior, and he has been deemed my first name, so I can tell who knows me how by what they call me. Like people who call me Dash, I know they know me through YouTube. People who call me Senior, I know they know me basically since my oldest son, since Taste number one was born, and or it's like my wife's friends and family because they're the ones that pretty much all call me Senior. When I'm out and about, it depends on who I'm talking to as to how I introduce myself. Sometimes I introduce myself as Dash, and other times I use my government name. So most of the time, if you see me online, I'll use Dash. But if I meet you in person, I might extend my hand and tell you what my government name is. So, um, mini TJ, but not the same first name. All right. 17. Yeah, that one there is 17 too. TJ, it might be time to update that picture. That picture's probably 15 years old. Uh, nice. Busy as hell with the food trailer. Talk about a good problem to have. Oh man. All right. So obviously, I need to take a big swig of this. So tonight we are doing. This is. I got the. Oh, okay. You said 12 years old. It's like 12 years old. All right, that makes sense. Um, Jimmy, you funny. I see what you did there, Jimmy. I see what you did there. Hey, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. It's been a long couple days, all right? Y'all chill, chill, chill. So I started to say, I have a monster. So this is one of the newer flavors. Uh, ultra fancy. Oh, ultra Fanta by Ruby Red. Oh, excuse me. The print is kind of off. It says fantasy, but it looks kind of like a B, and it was like cut off. So I'm like Fanta. Yeah, I thought it was Fanta, something like a collaboration. But anyway, Ultra Fantasy Ruby Red. But I'm gonna take a swig of it first. All right. Okay. So I don't know how or why, But my guy's been on a vodka kick lately. So he hooked me up. He said, take this. This was the remnants from whatever other jar he was filling up, apparently. So, say less, fam. You'll hook me up. So this is kind of, let's say, kind of crazy, but it's wild. It's hard to explain just how I understand how this is a vodka, right? I didn't get into the details, the nitty gritty of how he did it, but it doesn't smell like corn liquor. It doesn't smell like moonshine, and it doesn't smell like a brandy. Like a brandy, if he says, "Oh, it was bananas or apples or peaches or something along those lines." Usually, I can smell that. I can't smell anything with this. I just smell like a clean, neutral spirit. I mean, people say moonshine is like rubbing alcohol. This actually kind of tastes like rubbing alcohol, or it smells like. But we're gonna see what it do. Let's look at this number here and conservative for it. I want to remember this live stream tonight. All right, a little splash, a little more. Try to get it down to even. Cup and a half left. All right. Put that to the side, and we shall not delve back in there. All right. Da, 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 da. George, what up? What up? How you doing this evening, man? Is that my way? No, maybe not. Oh, it's definitely different. Need to mix that around some more a little bit. KB, sorry, I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I said something to you. He says, good evening, Dash, and y'all. Not y'all, but all y'all. I think all y'all will be appropriate. Man, Jimmy says, I remember the days back before I had a guy. I do too. And my guy back before used to be my father-in-law. He used to hook me up with a jar every now and again. He had a guy, and he used to help me out. But now, yo, I'm like, hey, I'm cooking this, or I had this for dinner, or I'll put this aside for you. And he's like, the jar is ready whenever you are. Come through. Man. It, mm. George's sophomore year in the rearview mirror. Oh boy. I was wondering if you was gonna say something about that. So taste lesson number one has decided not to go back. And so we are pursuing other avenues. But I mean I want to say kinda is what it is. Terry, what up? What up? What up? Terry says, Dash, Jimmy, Kent. And then Kent and Jimmy are like, Terry, Terry. um, how's everybody doing this week, man? How has your week been going so far? In here, but I'm hurting. Oh man, Terry, I know you've been going through it lately. The I won't say with the ailments, but you're physically you haven't been 100% in a little bit. So hopefully feel a little better, man. I know you're not feeling 100% physically. It is a thing. Cold and wet, man. Listen, sure enough, I have on long sleeve. I have a long sleeve T-shirt, and I just went around and closed a good majority of the windows on behind me. So there's three windows in the kitchen, and there's two windows in the family room that were open. I closed all but one. I think there's one open still. Hold up, Chuck. Man, can we, what's up, Chuck? How you doing? How's everything, man? It's been a hot minute since I've seen you on the live stream, but hopefully all is well with your brewing. I know that's got to be kind of fun. Well, excuse me. Chuck said he backpacked 32 miles over Saturday and Sunday morning. Sure. Listen, the last time I did I'll say an extensive hike, I ended up with tendonitis in both of my knees, and it has not gone away. It's 6 years later. Yeah. Terry said I have a nerve pinch 3 times in my lower back, and I have neuropathy. Yeah, that's what's up. Oh man, the backpacking, not the neuropathy. Um. Oh well. See, I need to stop reading multiple messages and like reading one aloud while looking at another. So Chuck says he's good, and taste test number 2 is just dropping everything in the kitchen. So neuropathy and nerve pinch 3 times. So is it the same? Well, not the same one, but is it like 3 locations is pinched, or is it just been pinched multiple times? The same one. Um. Yes, Chuck. Yes, indeed. Hope all is good with you, the wife, and the taste sisters. Yeah. So it is summer and they are around, so they are going to be, well, at least my kids, they are going to be involved in more videos. So you'll see them, I'll say a little bit more, but you'll see them more on the channel. I'm thinking for my wife. She should be home soon. KB said, "Have you ever made I don't care ribs? I made some spares and didn't do all the timing or temp routine, pulled them, and they weren't exactly my best work. The beer was good though. So, funny you mentioned that. KB, I made some ribs yesterday, actually. The video for these ribs won't be out for another week or so. But so I'm pretty sure maybe next week. The video that I have going up tomorrow is, let me see. Survey says, I fried some fish. So I fried some fish for the video for tomorrow, and next week. There we go. Oh, where is my? Oh, here. I had to find the the tab where the StreamYard was, so I could read your comments. So the video next week, so maybe next Tuesday. I'm trying to get back into the habit of filming and putting up a video on Tuesday and Thursday, and not just Thursday. But if you see me posting videos again just on Thursdays, just know that either I couldn't get a video edited in time for Tuesday, or I couldn't get one filmed, which is possibility. Chachi, what up, man? He says, "Hey, yo." Oh man, Terry says, "Yeah, 3 locations in between L1 and L5." Oh man, that sucks. Hmm. How did the slugger season go? He did pretty well. How did your baseball season go? Went well. I batted 562. He said he batted 562. He's still talking. He had the second most RBIs in the city. I mean, I feel like you just want to tell me everything. Well, defensively, I had 96%. Like 96% of the time, I was given a chance to make a play. I made the play. So he said 96% of the time he was given a chance to make a play, he made the play. Defensively. And allegedly. 2 errors on the whole season. 2 errors on the season. Compared to my freshman year, I had 1 error every game. Did they keep those stats? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that was kind of, say, par for the course. He said compared to his freshman year where he had an error every game. And I He had the second most strikeouts on his team and seventh most in the city. How many did Angel have in the city? Really? Oh wow. Hmm. Not the city, not the city or the poly pitchers. All right. Oh, because their division is outside of the. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I will not, Jimmy. Terry, I will ask him. He's actually upstairs. I believe he's still playing the guitar. I haven't seen him playing with it much, but he also was not here. He was away at school, basically across town. But he's back home now. So, all right. So, George, you asked about the baseball stats. So, gee whiz, that is great. he said he said thank you. Damn it, Jimmy. And luckily, so we were focused more on academic scholarships and things like that versus sports stuff. So he is well. We have a decision, and he'll be going to school close, but not as close as Taste Tester number one did. So, but he'll be going to my wife's alma mater. I don't say oddly enough, but he'll be going to my wife's alma mater, and we're looking forward to it, and she's excited. Of course, she's happy for him. Vic's Cooler Chicken Barbecue says, "What's up, folks? How you doing this evening, Vic? How are things?" Mm. Yeah, tomorrow's video is frying fish, so you'll have to kind of sit tight in the video in the beginning. Not so actually, Jimmy, you don't say you'll pay special attention, but I cooked outside, so you'll have to tell me what you think of the setup, and just some feedback would be appreciated. Um, and then I brought everything inside, and then we had a taste test. My wife and I had a taste test of I cooked three different types of fish, or three different species of fish, um, and we tasted it, and I'll give you guys our thoughts on the different types of fish. Oh yeah, my man Taj, I saw. Susie says, "Oh." She says, "Hey, and Dash, taste test number one and barbecue family. Bring taste test number three. Bring in taste test number three. I want to hear her sing and watch her dance. She says, so great. So that's taste test number two back there. Um, what are you eating? What are you eating? Or are you just sitting there and letting it sit?" He cooked it. And then he said, "I wasn't as hungry as what?" Mm. Ramen, egg, corned beef, and kimchi. Yeah, he's just standing next to it. That's why I'm like, "And what are you eating?" Steven, what up, man? He says, "Hey, yo, Dashing family. Good evening, bro. We're having an abundance of rain here." Me too. Me too. Yo, it's been raining all day. And you know why I knew it was gonna rain today? Because I got my wife's van washed yesterday. Got my wife's van washed yesterday. uh Jimmy said the last one you and Mrs. Dash did was fun. Indeed. Yo, I really do have a good time with her typically, even though she like makes me it's like pulling teeth to get her on camera, but I feel like she's getting a little better at it. Getting a little more accustomed to it. But the video, yeah, the video tomorrow, it I let it run long because I pretty sure, yeah, that was the one. So with the microphones, I can start and stop the recording from the mic. And she was behind me just having a good old time, and I was like, boop, and I just let the camera roll. So you'll have to stick around for the not even the bloopers, but like I said, I started the camera back up before or while she wasn't paying attention, without her knowing. Your smoked salmon is real life drugs, by the way. Thanks, Taj. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will say, I had to change the seasoning because the seasoning that I used to use I can no longer get. So you'll have to try it out and tell me what you think. Um, yeah. Number, I said Susie says hi. Susie says hi. He said hello. Mm, mhm. Yeah, man. Oh, goodness. Like I don't say I preach consistency, but that's one of the things that I strive for is consistency. And then the wool was pulled right up under my feet, or the rug was pulled from under my feet. Yeah, the rug gets pulled from under your feet, and the wool gets pulled over your eyes. Uh, yeah, he's in the other room watching a movie right now, and uh, he said he got a notification as I was talking to him, so he didn't hear what I said. Vic said, "Make sure you hit the like button." Yes, indeed, please and thank you. If you haven't already, please do hit that thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. 17 folks on the live stream, and like four of you talking to me. Who else is here that I haven't spoken to? Please allow me to say hello. Let's see here if I can get this. Da, da. I go to switch account. Do, do, do. This account. Oh, look. I'm live. Hey, hey. All right, I see 8 likes. Come on now. We can do better than that, folks. mm, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I saw he was cooking for his nephew. I think it was his nephew. I think he said a graduation, so he might be busy. But I don't know. I can text him. Last week I texted him, and he popped up. I was like, "I'm right here." Chachi is asking where you are. Yeah. Taj says, I love the magic seasoning. They have a good salmon one. Magic seasoning. I'll have to look into that. Or if you remember, next time you're in your kitchen, can you shoot me a picture of the label and then I'll keep an eye out for it? I did, Chachi. I did. I said, Chachi wants to know where you are. How is everybody doing? Taj, how are you, man? Chachi, how you doing? It's been a couple weeks. I put the link to the um yeah, I put the link in the description. Excuse me. Did you come in later? You came in later, Chachi. Maybe that's what it was. And So you know what it is, Chachi? You haven't joined me on the video or in the in the chat like live in a while. Boom. Um Susie says she's looking for you too. Hold on. I know George. George, his Bucky's is on his way to Rockingham County. So yeah, from what I understand, it's going to be kind of out by like Luray Caverns, kind of like out that way. Um, so this is not New Jersey, but close enough. Listen, it's they're coming further north, okay, which is I won't say a miracle in and of itself. Bruh. A a let's see, 2 hour drive to get to Bucky's from my house, maybe not even, versus a 7 hour drive to get to Florence, South Carolina. I might take that. I might take that. I actually think the there might be a Bucky's. One of the Bucky's in Tennessee might actually be closer than the Bucky's in Florence. Oh, there's my wife in Florence because I think I got to the Bucky's, or I think I drove past the Bucky's in Tennessee sooner than 7 hours, but I'm not 100% sure. Joshy says, "Don't tell him about Susie. Houston is better than Dallas." Oh, ooh, 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 sick burn, Susie. Sick burn. She says Dallas is better because you're not in it. Hold on, let me go help my wife come inside. I'll be right back, guys. Oh. False alarm. Let's see. I could look and see where she is on the road. Oh, she's not too far away. All right, she's probably about 10 minutes away. All right, let's see here. We got a new Bucky's about to open 40 minutes from here. Oh, we have about 40 minutes from here. Trying to think where it might be. So the sign, okay, turnpike, and around mile 81 says Bucky's house. Turnpike, mile marker 280. It says Bucky's 567 miles away. I mean, that probably what is exit mile marker 280 west? 280 west. I wonder if that's kind of close to like 81. Hmm. Either that or it's by the blue route and it's like sending you down the blue route to 95 and then 95 the closest Bucky's is yeah. Anderson. All right. Let's see. Dallas was the first one I went and almost went bankrupt. Yeah. uh, nice. It's an eagle. Okay. Get it right. And you know what, Kent? I had some turkey bacon tonight for dinner. Every time I see the name of this, yes, I can. I think of the Nutty Professor. Yes, I can. That's every time in my mind. That's what I say to myself. Dude, do not put that in there if it's gonna stay in there all night. I'm tired of you leaving food out and about all night long. Just put it in the refrigerator. Huh? What is it? Oh, dude, you just leave food in the microwave all night long too much. Am I right or wrong? All right. You don't remember what? Or you leave out, period. You guys got to put food away. Round Reading. 81 is like 220. Okay. I 176. Hmm. Yeah, but I wonder if that's pointing towards one in Tennessee, or yeah, it probably is pointing to one in Tennessee. Um, hmm, interesting. Do, 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 do. You guys are funny. Anyway, so what else is going on? What do you guys have coming up this weekend? It's Memorial Day weekend. It doesn't feel like it because it's not at the end of the month. But it is Memorial Day weekend. I actually have, I didn't realize it. I have a brisket and some lamb I need to do this weekend. So that'll be pretty simple. I'll start the brisket and then throw the lamb on when the brisket is just about done. Mm. Oof, that's liquor. That's liquor. Memorial Day cooks, come on, what's up? Who's cooking what this weekend? Or are you like me and didn't realize that this weekend was Memorial Day? Oh yeah, that means I have a long weekend. Hell yeah. Maybe some of the guys from the range will be going on a motorcycle ride. Maybe I can bum a bike and ride with them. Mm, 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 mm. 8, 20. Smoke a ham. The last one I did was freaking fabulous. Go on, Susie. Actually, my wife bought a ham last week. Yeah, late last week. And oh, so the fish that you're going to see in the video tomorrow, I cooked that. Today is Wednesday, so I must have cooked that maybe on Monday. And I think I don't know. The holidays are running together, but at any rate, she also purchased a ham the same day. Um, posted a picture of it. But how did you do it, Susie? What did you do? Just that I don't smoke hams, but she bought a ham and was like, she just had this smile and grin on her face. I'm like, why are you cheesing? And she's like, cause you're gonna cook this for me. All right, so Orange Jeep, what up? Might make some spares Saturday. I did some Grumpus. Hi, Grumpus. How you doing? Hello. I will check out your Instagram, Susie. Um, now he says hello. Chris, what up? How you doing this evening? Uh, Kent says he's got a funeral catering tomorrow at noon. American Legion vending Saturday tomorrow night. Graduation catering for 300 Saturday. Campground potluck Saturday night. Man, sounds like he's busy. At least that's what he's trying to make it appear. He probably gonna cook once for all of those things. Nope, not her yet. Mm. Bet they're dying to have the food, Kent. it sounds it sounds like something I would say. I remember as my kids were young, um, I'd ask them if they knew why they had fences around cemeteries, and they're like, "No, why?" Because people were dying to get into them. That was one of those jokes that my dad told me when I was young that just stuck with me. Mm. Remind me after 10 to tell you the story about how I got locked inside of a cemetery. I told it before, but since we're talking about cemeteries and funerals and such, it bears being told again. So if someone could remind me after 10. Mm-mm. Goodness gracious. All right, so Susie, how did you cook the ham? What did you do? There she is. All right, now I'll be back for real. I'm about to pause it like I'm playing a video. Okay, I'm back. All right. Okay, so I helped her bring her things in, and I'm back. We're live. She just walked in and said she can't be out to sleep. Agreed. All right. Let's see here. Smoked it with Post, I guess Oak. Post Malone. Big race Saturday. My phone will be off, doorbell disconnected, and ribs on an ice bucket keeping me company. Uh, The the big race. So NASCAR. Thought NASCAR usually run on Sunday. Is that Saturday? It'll be in um Virginia. What's the name of that? Won't they be in Virginia this weekend? Oh, big race Sunday. Yeah, NASCAR. Oh, the Indy 500. Suspender. I know there's a big NASCAR race this weekend too. It'll be in. I don't know. It'll be somewhere. Hmm. Hold on. Try again, Jimmy. I guess. Yeah, I'll post the link. I smoke it with post oak. Also has some plum wood that I added to the fire that was given to me. Every hour I will mop it with a mixture of Coca-Cola and brown sugar. Lots of flavor. My wife is not a fan of cola. NASCAR is an even race following the 500. Okay. I say I know there's a YouTuber who was talking about he was going to be in a race or going up to, and I just can't remember where in Virginia. Yeah. It's not Fayetteville. Um, why can't I think of the name of the city that Bougie lives in? Charlotte. Charlotte. Don't worry, you don't have to, coke. Blah, blah, blah. Don't worry, you don't taste the Coke or even the brown sugar. It just has really even sweetness to it. And lots of smoky flavor. It's delicious. Trust me. What about some orange? What up, Jimmy? How you doing this evening?
We're good. We're good.
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
Uh,
Yeah.
went to see the doctor today. The doctor said, "Come back and see me in 6 weeks."
Nice,
Thumbs up.
nice.
So clear sailing. Of course, it's a
Hey,
scope next time. That's not.
oh,
But
pause, pause, or mute YouTube. You
I
have the
got you.
stream
I
yard,
got you.
yeah.
No, I got
Oh, I'm gonna say
you. You're
you're
always
talking.
running in two at a time. So
Okay, all right.
I
you
got to
know,
kill the volume on one.
it's funny. I was doing something the other day, and I said Jimmy might be watching me back on a video one day. One of these days, I'm just gonna randomly say hi to whoever is listening over Jimmy's shoulder, because apparently, there's so many people that know me through you watching that hear me when I'm.
If, listen, I can't play you on my desktop at work. I can't. They'll they know your voice more than they do your face, and they'll
Okay.
hear you. Oh, Dash is on again. I'm just playing one of his videos. It's okay. Yeah, that's true.
Like I
That's
said,
true.
I was driving, and I was like, man, I need to shout Jimmy out in a video, like mid video, and shout out whoever is listening over Jimmy's shoulder, because he apparently has people listening to me over his shoulder, from time to time. So yeah, I was like, hmm. So that is the missus just walked past. She said hi, and there's taste tester number three. So Jimmy says hi, Susie says hi.
Okay.
Uh, let's see. Oh, so I didn't see her wave, but she said hi. Taste tester who waved from the kitchen. Yeah. Mm. Susie, do they make a turkey ham? They do. You know what, Kent? When I make a turkey ham, I'm going to shout you out just as I did with the turkey bacon, and it's going to be fantastic. Now you're going to make me go get some damn turkey ham, slice it up thin, smoke that with some Uncle Steve shake. Because last time I did turkey bacon, and they wanted to give me grief, but I might have to do a turkey ham, slice it up thin. Oh yeah, might even pull out the mandolin so the slices are uniform. Yeah, so Mrs. That she went upstairs. She's it's way past her bedtime. She's like, You know how when I'm like, oh, I've been up for 24 hours, she's up past 8 o'clock. So taste tester number 3 is getting ready to. She's got to do the dishes, so she'll probably be moving around behind me. Yeah, shit. Just see what happened about doing the
Uh,
ham. I did. Oh, okay. I did not see your comment about the honey. Or maybe orange with some honey. Mop it. Cook basically breaks down the meat due to the acid. You can use whatever you want. Orange sounds delicious. Yeah, orange and ham, orange and pork usually goes pretty well together. So, um, I did not see your comment, Susie, but yeah, slices so thin, something on one side. Gosh, Kent is Kent needs to be on tour. He's such a comedian, you know, such a comedian. He needs to be on tour. And
hey,
now that we started talking about Uncle Steve Shake, we'll see if he pops up in here too. Look, I said it in the video with Taste Tester number 3 that I need to reach out to Uncle Steve and place an order because I'm out of SPG. I'm running low on the thick meat. Like I actually have been using the stuff, um, and I'm getting low. So
yeah, I actually had to reach out and holler help the other day. I started to cook and reached up in the cabinet, and there was like just enough to see in the bottom of it. And I'm like,
uh oh,
that won't
yeah.
work. So
Look, you're doing better than me. I've told him a couple times. I'm like, look, don't you send me anything. 'Cause I gotta clear out my cabinet first. Susie said, "Tell Linda hi."
thanks, Susan, and we'll do it. She's actually doing some continuing ed stuff.
Listen, you know what? It's funny you say that. I had to do the for the range. They, I, I didn't realize they want us to get RSO certified like on an annual basis.
Yeah.
Man, once you become RSO certified, you don't need to be RSO certified every single year. You don't. That doesn't go away. You can't turn it off. Once you start looking for things and seeing things, you can't turn it off. I'm sure, Jimmy, you understand.
Oh, I do.
Sister
Totally.
Toy, what up, Toya? How you doing? I'll be off on my day off at the range with my kids, and I'll see something and I'll say something like, "Look, I know you don't know what I know you don't know me, but I work here, and trust me when I tell you you're doing something wrong. And just because someone else didn't see it, I'm going to say something because I don't want you to do it again." Because I've had that people look at me like, "Who you?" And I'm like, "I work here. I'm off right now, but I can't turn it off. I see a violation, so I'm going to bring it to your attention." Ah, yeah. Steve's Gator Shake is so good. I put it in my palm and pop it directly in my mouth. Yeah, I believe it, Susie. I believe it. I definitely believe it.
The last
Um,
time I went to a public range like that I walked up to get in a lane
mhm.
just in time for the female that was about to be next to me to turn around and start flagging the room. And of course, I, I had it in my hand before I'm like,
Wow.
no, 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 no. And then the thing came up. Who are you? Who am I? I'm like, look, this is what I am, what I do, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no,
Yeah,
no,
no, no,
no,
no.
no,
We're not having that.
uh,
So
uh.
it's funny, Jimmy. All right, so I feel like we're about to go on the. We got 11 minutes. But anyway, you started talking about continuing education, and I brought it up because I just literally, before, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So I was like, "Oh, I'm kind of casually. We had to do an RSO certification through USCCA, so I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll go ahead and I didn't know what was entailed. Yo, it took me like half an hour or so, or more to get this done, and I finished it with like 15 minutes to go. Like my alarm that said, "Hey, it's 8:45 on a Wednesday," went off when I was on like question number 19 or 20 out of 22. So I'm like, all right, I'm almost done. I can go ahead and get this done, and then I created the live stream.
Well,
But yeah, I'm
I
like, mm-mm.
I have a barbecue question for the group. We got 10
All right.
minutes or so. We want to to stay on a barbecue topic. All of the sweet, the honey, brown sugar, all of the sweet things people feel like when they wrap their ribs is necessary to put under it. Who does that? Who does it and why? I have never found a good reason for
Competition.
doing any of that.
Competition cooks do it. That's it.
I just
Backyard
I
cooks. See, and so this is the pet peeve of mine, Jimmy. And here let me just go ahead and step up on my soapbox. All
okay,
right.
climb up.
We are not competition cooks. The majority of
No,
us are not competition cooks. We
no.
are backyard cooks, okay? And a backyard cook slash catering cook or somebody who's going to cook for people to eat and enjoy what it is that they're going to eat, have. You're not cooking to the point where everything is covered in sugar, covered in sweet. It's just not. Also, we are the diabetics, okay? Okay, we are the diabetics. So all of that damn sugar, nah, bro. You know
Mm,
how I want my sugar in my liquor or in my beer. Okay, not on my ribs, not on my brisket, not on anything. So, but but that competition cooks, man, they give the majority of barbecue. I won't say a bad name, but they put into place bad habits. And I think everyone wants to be a competition cook in their backyard, if that makes sense.
yeah,
They emulate the competition cooks in their backyard, and they don't really. Most folks don't. I feel like most folks don't realize that that is not what you want. You want more savory, in my opinion. I mean, Jimmy, you could tell me how you feel, but I feel like you want more savory, and then you can eat more of it because it's not going to be like, oh, this is dessert, and sweet and dessert ends up stopping you. That's why you have dessert after, because it kind of tells the body, all right, you know what, I'm done eating. Let's get into I'm full and shut down mode. So.
yeah.
uh,
And I don't know what it is. I I've sold a lot of ribs, and I've given away a lot of ribs.
yeah.
And my biggest reward has always been to hear somebody say, "Have you had his ribs?" Oh man, you know, and
My,
that's enough for me.
look,
That's
mine,
enough.
mine is, oh man, that brisket. I
Yeah,
can't, I can't get
yeah,
that brisket anywhere else. That
yep,
brisket. That I told you how that lady was at the. I told you guys about the lady who was at the baseball field,
yeah.
and I hadn't seen her. I swear I haven't seen this lady in probably 7 years, if not longer. It was before COVID, so it could have been longer than that. And the first thing she said when she saw me was, "That brisket. Oh my god, that brisket." I'm like, it's still the same.
Yeah,
The
there you
brisket
go.
is one thing that is still the same. That has not changed. All right, let me catch up on the comments real quick. Ooh, Grumpus says, Susie, try a Bloody Mary rimmed with Gator Shake. That sounds fantastic.
Is there anything you can't do with Gator Shake?
Bathe in it? I
Maybe.
wouldn't want to bathe in it. Oh boy. Yeah. My buddy Tosh says he took his Tokarov to the range and gained an audience. You take a 12 gauge to an indoor range, yeah, buddy. You're going to, most of the time people are going to stop and be like, what is that? Yo, it's so funny when I see people. Listen, I've been on the range now for over 3 years. And actually, it's 3.5 years I've been on the range. And I tell people probably once a week, they're like jumping around and they're all skittish. And I'm just like, I'm so, I won't say used to it, but it some of the things don't phase me anymore. So the only thing that kind of gets my attention, some 308s, um, Dracos, because it's an AK round coming out of a pistol, and they're just obnoxious, like obnoxious. And when I can feel the fireball from behind the firing line, that's something else that gets my attention. But shotguns, I can fall asleep probably standing up while a shotgun is going off and people are jumping through the skin. And I mean, but it always shotguns always garner a, attention because of the concussive reverberation inside. And it's just one of those things where until you get used to it, you'll never get used to it. If that makes sense. Uh, da, 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 da. Angela's here. What up, Angela? How you doing this evening? Angela's funny. Russ might not be here yet. Russ was saying, "Oh, um, he was saying something about so the last video was taste tester number 3, cooking short ribs, and Russ said something about going down to see Ange, and tell Auntie this or that, and I'm like, Angela is our cousin. Like, we've had this discussion because we've had plenty of time to try to understand what my kids are her, like, so my kids are her cousin once removed, right? And we've talked about this here, before too. But it's one of those things where it's like, what are they? Like, what do you call my cousin who has kids? What are his kids in relation to me? So, and there's a there's a big old, I don't know who created the once removed, twice removed, and this and that, and third this and second that. I don't know who did it, but somebody figured it out. Yeah. So Grumpus said all of the sweet stuff is way too easy to burn. Yeah. Todd says I like a little brown sugar in my rub, but not going overboard. Agreed. Sometimes what happens is, or in my opinion, sometimes that just a twang, just a little hint of some sugar, some brown sugar especially, will help to offset some of the salty, in my opinion. Um,
Mhm.
Sometimes things can be a little too salty or a little too peppery. I don't want to say spicy, but a little too peppery, and that little bit of sweetness will help cut that, um, that pepper or that salt, in my opinion. So, Grandpa says he only competes with himself. uh, Grandpa says he too likes a little sweetness in the rub, but not candy, but no candy in the foil on the foil. Agreed. Um, oh boy, if I ever went back to meat, I'd have my cousins meat. I, I I'm just gonna show that. Um, George says, has anyone grilled octopus? I have. Does grilling octopus at the Korean barbecue count? Because I've grilled octopus at the Korean barbecue. Look, Grumpus says, "Dear Angela, what?" Oh
Here
my
we go.
goodness! It just does not making it any better.
Nope.
Have you seen it? Nah, you know what? I'm not even reading that out loud. Look, Grumpus said it for me. Ew. Look, so I won't say my baby cousin. She says she calls B Uncle B. That's not your uncle. That's not your uncle B. That's not your uncle. Look, Eastwood says it's almost 10. Oh, I know. Trust me. Oh yeah. Uh, George says, or Chris said it's almost 10. Sorry. I just do a little honey and apple juice. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't even think it needs. Oh, maybe the ribs. Maybe apple. Apple would go good. Apple would go hard on the ham. Maybe I just base it in apple juice, or maybe a cider. Not even a juice.
How
Hmm.
about an apple brine?
It's already in. And technically it wouldn't. Well, I would have to add salt in order to make it a brine. Because I don't think just apple juice by itself would be a brine.
Or
I
with a
think
marinade?
I think apple juice by itself will be a marinade. But I think also, and oh my gosh, where's Victor when you need him? Because I'm sure he'll be able to tell you the exact definition between a marinade, a brine, and a and a But I think a marinade has a vinegar component or an acidic component. I think it's acidic.
Yeah,
Um,
break it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then again, I mean, the sugar, and I think the a brine technically has a saline and a sweet, and a sugar solution. So I don't know what that would be. If it was just apple juice, would that be considered
I
the
don't
if
know.
it's apple juice? I know. See, this is
I don't know.
we are. Damn
Yep.
it, Jimmy! You're giving me homework
Well,
here.
look, I was hoping Alton would show up. I I got a package today. It took a long time to come from Texas. His
Oh yeah.
his
Oh,
pepper,
bruh.
that 16 mesh pepper, and
That pepper.
I see what he's
That
talking about.
that pepper is it hits different. Just
It does.
take a sniff of it.
I
Yo,
I I
if
I,
you
I
take
did
a
the
sniff of that right there, it's like smelling salts.
yeah. I did the Susie trick. I put a little in the palm and tasted it, and it's totally different from the other 16 mesh I have. Completely. Right? That's going to be a
There's
completely different taste.
there's there's Fiesta brand 16 mesh, and then there's all other coarse pepper.
Yeah,
It really hits different.
it does.
It hits different. Lou Calamatas, what's going on, Lou? I can't I no, I can't not say Lou's complete name. So Lou said he has Lou. Guess what? So George, who asked that question, is also in New Jersey. So you two, bro, guys, yeah, have at it. Lou said I have. He said he blanched it first. All right. I do have a story to tell at 10 about me getting locked in the cemetery. Lou says, "Hey Dash, what do you call a chicken that stares at lettuce?" I don't know, Lou. What do you call it? All right. So Tosh says, "All right, so I was busting my guns while drinking Uncle Nearest and boy,
What had
chicken
happened was
chicken Caesar salad." Oh,
uh,
when chicken Caesar salad. I get it. I love it. If you're in the mood for sweet ribs, whoa, 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 whoa. All right, so Rumpus says if you're in the mood for a sweet ribs, I'll sweeten the glaze or a sauce. All right. I thought Jerry was making a sauce. What happened to that? Jerry or Jimmy? Jimmy made a sauce. Oh,
yeah,
the cemetery.
I
Yes,
make
I
sauce.
got locked in the cemetery. All right, so Taj will know exactly where this is because he's not too far away from it. So Taj, you know where the Models was on Eastern Road, right? So across the street at Cheltenham and Wadsworth Avenue. Actually, I think it was Cheltenham and Glenside because on it was on the other side of the street and streets in Philly. So let's say if I'm damn if I'm going east west of Cheltenham Avenue and north south on one side of Cheltenham Avenue was Glenside, and on the other side of Cheltenham Avenue, it was Wadsworth Avenue because that was Cheltenham Avenue was the delineation, big $5 word, the delineation between Montgomery County and Philadelphia City, all right, or Philadelphia County, which is the city. Um, I say all of that to say there's a cemetery, and I can't. Oh, Holy Sepulchre is the name of the cemetery. Okay, so Taj, like I said, I know you probably are aware because it's right up the street. Uh, primary tenderizer, acidic tenderizer. I not necessarily. Marlon. All right, so hold on. Lou with the dad jokes. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Lou says, "Gotta say, I like sweet heat on ribs." Okay. And all right, Marlon says you're mixing a brine, not a brine, but you know what? He probably does say brine. Okay, we're just gonna go with it. He probably says brine, marinated, and a tenderizer. Acidic is a tenderizer. Also, hello. So acid in the marinade helps to tenderize. Um, you can look it up, but I would like to know: is apple juice a brine or a marinade? Actually, look, I can just look it up. Is apple juice is apple juice brine or a marinade? Apple juice is a liquid used in marinades, not a bone. Oh, no brine. Oh, it would help if I put the R in here. Apple juice can function as both a marinade and a brine, depending on how it's used and what's added to it. When used alone or with minimal additives like salt and sugar, it's primarily a marinade. However, when a higher concentration of salt and other flavorings are added, it becomes a brine.
There
There
you
we
go.
go, Jimmy.
You had it.
I
You had it.
did. I told you
You
it was
had it.
going to need some salt in order for it
Yep.
to be considered a brine. George
Yep.
is born and raised in Long Beach. All right, let's see. Holy Sepulchre, yes indeed. All right. To me, apple juice would be a marinade. Yep, that's exactly it. All right. So anyway, all right. Rewind to me being like 14, 15 years old. And so we're talking like 94, 95, right? And in 1994, back in the 19th century or 20th century rather, we used to ride our bikes everywhere. And I say we, me and my friends used to ride our bikes everywhere. How we stop in the middle of the cemetery? How do you stop in the middle of the cemetery story? Because I'm multifaceted. I'd be like squirrel. So anyway, used to 94, 95, I used to ride my bike everywhere. Okay, and we were riding our bikes, and it was three or four of us. I can't remember if it was three or four, but I can picture two or three people who I was with, and we're riding around, and we decided to ride up, and we rode into the cemetery, and we're riding around the cemetery. Now, mind you, we're riding around the cemetery, and dumb kids, what do you do when you ride around the cemetery? You look for old headstones. So we're riding around, riding around, riding around. We have been riding around the cemetery for probably an hour, maybe two, and we're looking for old headstones, and we're trying to find the oldest one, blah blah blah. And so we're like, all right, it's starting to kind of get dark, and it's like, all right, time to go home. So we go to leave, and the gates are closed. uh Now, if you are an adult, you know now that if the gates close in the cemetery, all you have to do is stand over top of that little box or the little wire on the ground, and then the gates automatically open. We're three or four kids on bicycles. There wasn't enough metal in the bicycle to react to the wire or to set off the wire in order to. Now, I think actually there might have been even before that wire was a thing. So so we couldn't get out. This is how long ago this was. I was freaking out because I knew I needed to be back home and check in before the street light came on.
Hmm.
And I didn't think I was going to be back home before the street light came on, because I'm like, yo, we're going to have to spend the night in the cemetery. I'm going to be out here all night. My mom is going to be freaking out, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. So I start freaking out, right? Because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be in so much trouble. I'm not going to be back on my bike for a while because I'm going to be on punishment, right? I used to call it lockdown, right? My friends would come and knock on the door, and I go like this when I come to the door, and they just knew, all right, go ahead, Scott, he on trouble, so he on punishment, which happened regularly. Anyway, so I'm freaking out. We're stuck in the cemetery, and we start riding around the cemetery trying to find other exits. All of the exits are all closed, so we're like, yo, and of course there's nobody in the cemetery. There's nothing going on, like nothing. So eventually, now mind you, we had been in the cemetery now probably for 2 hours. We I was freaking out because I'm like, yo, I gotta get home. I'm gonna be in trouble. I don't want to get killed. I need to get home. And eventually, what we ended up having to do was throw our bikes over the fence, climb up over the fence, and then we were able to climb, get out of the cemetery. And when I say I got home, not in the nick of time, but luckily the cemetery was not even a mile, maybe a mile and a half from my house, and it was all downhill from where the cemetery was to where my house was. But when I got out of that cemetery, I beat feet beat feet back home to check in so that I wouldn't get in trouble. And I'm still telling the story 20, oh shoot, 25, 30 years still, 30 years almost later. Yeah. So, yeah, being stuck in the cemetery, not fun. Freaking out. Mm. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And it was a posse for sure. Russ, what up, Russ? How you doing? Russ says, "Hey, Dash. Hey, all." Sorry, I was telling the story. Mm, Marlin. Sometimes your bike crew manage you. Wait, someone in your bike crew invented invented it so no one would get lost. Yeah, you're probably right, Angela. The little thing on it, the little tripwire on the road. Yep. We weren't visiting anyone. We were just dumbass teenagers and had nothing else to do. We was riding our bikes. Yeah, we used to ride our bike. Listen, Angela, you know where my house was in Mount Airy. I remember riding my house down to Mom's house. Okay, riding my bike down to Mom's house from Mount Airy when I was a kid for no reason. I used to be everywhere on my bike, everywhere, and we used to roll no less than 4 deep, and it used to be between 4 and 10 of us that were riding. Yo, we just like, was it Lou or Marlon? Oh no, it was Grumpus, a bike posse. That was it. That's all we did. We used to ride bikes. Yo, my quads are still like, my quads are still like jacked because of how much riding a bike I used to do when I was a kid. Seriously. Yo, look, Tasha's, mind you, this cemetery is huge, like a square mile. It really is. That's why we were in there for 2 hours. No, so Tosh, we rode from when we got locked in, and realized we got locked in. We rode from one or two of the Cheltenham Avenue entrances to the Wingcoat. Was it Wingcoat? Yeah, Wingcoat Avenue or Glenside Avenue, or whatever that the the side that butt up to Cheltenham Plaza. We rode to one or two of those entrances trying to find a way, and then we couldn't find a way. So then we rode back up to the Cheltenham Avenue exit, like the one by Cheltenham and Wadsworth, basically pointing south, technically. And like I said, we threw our bikes over, and bruh, I was downhill in a hurry trying to get home. Um,
I'm more worried about mama than the cemetery.
Man, man,
Yeah.
be wild. Oh, look at that. That's an owl. Check that out. My mom, I ever tell you guys about how my mom collects owls? My mom is a big owl fan. Remember y'all doing? Oh man, exactly. We did complain because it was far as hell. From my house in Mount Airy all the way to my mom's house was far. Yes, Angela, you know that cemetery. That's not the one that Pop Up is buried in, but you know that cemetery. That trust. No. It's not Waverly or Church Street. It's the it's so it's Wadsworth on one side of the street, and on the other, I can't look at a damn map. Oh my gosh. LT and him. Oh, hold on.
Did mama ever collect owl purses? You ever remember those?
No.
You know what they are?
No, I don't know what they are.
An owl, when like they eat a mouse or whatever, they will
Uh-huh.
form almost like a little leather pouch, and you can find them like in barns. They
Okay.
will regurgitate that up, and it's very
Yeah,
clean. It's like a little purse, and you
like
tear
a
it
little
open, and they're
pellet,
bones. They're
like a
bones.
little pellet. I thought it was like owl
It's
pellets, is what.
it's like they call them purses. It's like a little. That's another one you can Google. Google an
Oh no,
owl.
no. So
I
I
bet your
always
mom
thought,
knows it.
I always thought they were owl pellets like that. That's what. So Taj, it is Eastern Road. So uh oh, actually, look here. I'll just do this. I can show you guys how big this damn cemetery is. So let's see. I'm going to share my share screen, select the window, this one, StreamYard, allow. All right. This is the cemetery. Okay.
Wow.
This cemetery is huge, huge. And we were just like, we entered in, let's say here, okay. And then we were like riding around and we're riding around back down here and then like all through here and then back down here. And we got all the way to the back and we're like, oh wow, we're at the highway. We're way in here. So then we started riding back this way and we rode back this way. And then we're like, boom. And like when we couldn't get out here, we rode our bikes back over here because we knew this was another exit, right? So that here's an entrance slash exit. Here's an entrance. Actually, there might be another one. Yeah, here's another one here. Entrance slash exit. And here's another one. So we rode from this one. This is the one we ended up getting out of. And then when it was stuck, when we were stuck, we went to this one and we couldn't do that. So then we rode over to this one and we're like, yo, there's nothing there. We can't get out of that one. So then we came back to this one, and this is the one we ended up throwing our bikes over. So what's funny is, so over here where it says Walmart, I used to work over here. So in this, gosh, in this shopping center, there was I think was it a Caldor? What was it before? It was Walmart. But one of these stores, it used to be Model Sporting Goods, and I worked in the Model Sporting Goods, which is crazy. Like because this whole shopping center thing was way different than it used to be. But gosh, I could tell y'all stories about this whole area. But anyway, yeah, this cemetery was huge,
The statute
huge,
of limitations has run out on most all, all of those stores.
huge, 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 huge. So let's see. I'm trying to find. All right. So this is where the cemetery was. I lived here. I lived around here. And I mean, it was like I said, it was downhill and I beat feet to get back home. So yeah. Oh man. Yeah, Easton. Look, Angela said cemeteries around there don't close. Oh, and that map is kind of inaccurate because there's more cemetery past the throat. Probably it. Well, so not really because it says that I'm looking back at the map, but maybe. But it says that Arcadia is there, and it'll never be Arcadia. It'll be Beaver to me forever. Beaver College. Da, 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 da. Get a Temple University hoodie. She went to LaSalle, so she wouldn't dare get a Temple. She wouldn't dare get a Temple hoodie. I thought it was Caldor, Angela. I was like on the tip of my tongue. It was Caldor, but I was like, I don't think I couldn't remember. Um, Kmart, was it Kmart? Was it a Kmart? Gosh, I guess it was Kmart. Maybe when I was working there. Um, look,
You
it's
missed
funny.
it.
So Russ said the same joke I said.
Yep,
From I said it a little while ago.
he missed it.
Yeah, he did. He was late. Look, Angela says yes, Beaver College. It'll always be Beaver, for me to me. So yeah, Russ, I said that same joke this morning. Well, not this morning, earlier. It feels like this morning.
It ain't been that long now. Come on, dog.
Sure, yeah, it has. Oh man,
Where's
Jimmy, how did
everybody tonight?
I don't look. It
Where's
did. You know
everybody
what?
tonight?
It
I
it
tried to
doesn't.
keep you from being lonely, but
Thank
where's
you, Jimmy.
everybody?
I appreciate you. But you know what? I definitely. How did your repairs on your vehicles go?
Well, um, I've got that 95 Jeep YJ that
Okay.
I have been redoing. I'm trying to do at least a 10-foot paint job on it, trying to bring it
Okay.
back. It had a couple of rust spots, and I got all of that sanded down and whatnot. My son looked at it this weekend. He said, "Daddy, you took 15 years off that Jeep," and I said, "Well, I hadn't thought about it like that, but it's coming around."
Okay.
Um, I I have I've driven it some. I hooked a trailer up and pulled the lawnmower over to help some folks out to cut their yard that was up chest high,
Okay.
and the master cylinder decided not to release on the way over there.
Mm,
So you never know. I mean, it's like I said, it's a 95. It doesn't have 80,000 miles on it yet. It doesn't have
that's
a
it.
lot of miles. Yeah, it's got like 77, coming up on
The
78,000 miles.
ID4.
95.
My ID4 has 95,000 miles on it.
Well, see, the 25 years I did with the sheriff's office, I always had a company vehicle, gas and gear to pretty much go. Now, I didn't take it on vacations and that kind of crazy stuff, but around town and around the county, wherever I was going, that's what I was in because I was on call all the time. So it didn't get a lot of miles. It just didn't. Yep. Yep. So here's a good one. We're in the second hour.
Yeah.
What's next beyond the ID4? You've already looked, you're a car guy. You've already got that buzzing in the back of your head. I know. What are you thinking? What's next?
So here's the thing. I have another month, just about almost exactly, of free charging on my car. It's been 3 years. So I have another month
Yeah.
just about of free charging. So I have looked into what I can get free charging on again. And there is I think it's either I think it might be a Genesis. I don't know if a Hyundai will give me free charging, but there's like two or three vehicles out there that will give me free charging. And I'm like, I like my ID4 a lot, and I don't want to start over as far as car payment and stuff like that. Because I'm 3 years
Look,
into, but I don't.
wouldn't one of those give you the performance that you've gotten used to?
Yes, it would
Oh, will
definitely.
it? Oh, okay.
So I would, if anything, you know me, I'm a buy once, cry once type person. So I
Yeah.
would get the Hyundai has a Ionic N, I think it is, or one of those cars has an N for whatever reason. That's the sport of the vehicle, and it is ridiculous how fast this thing is. Ridiculous, and I'm like, hmm. I would love to, but I can't afford it because I know that I'm upside down right now on the ID4 because when I
Oh,
purchased it, vehicles were a little overinflated and the market has kind of fallen out. So I might be 7 to 10 grand upside down in
upside
what
down.
they'll give me
Yeah.
versus what I owe. So then I would have to roll that into the next loan, which will of course put me behind. And at this point, I'm like, I don't think I want to just. I don't want to. Nope, that's not a good financial decision. So,
I uh,
uh,
I, uh, I told a friend of mine he has finally finished his project and pulled up in the driveway and got out and handed me the keys and I said, "Dude, you should know better." He was like, "I'm gonna go with you," and I'm like, "All right." And after about 15 minutes, I told him, I said, "There's one guy I know would appreciate this." And he said, "Who's that?" And I said, "You don't know him. It's a guy named Dash." And he said, Why is that? This is a '68 Camaro with a newer LS swap.
Swap,
Oh my goodness! I mean,
like a
it will.
LS3, LS, LS, like LS
It,
what?
I think it's a three. Yeah,
Okay,
and he's stuck twin turbos on it,
bruh.
and let me tell you, it will pin your head to the headrest. I mean, it is. But of course, he's put the money in the exhaust system and all of that too. And
Cams and everything.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Um,
It's
what up?
very
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Oh no. Hold on. No. All right. Oh, damn it. I did disarmed it. False alarm. No, he said the screen wasn't on. Not on the screen. All right. Anyway. All right. Your recent alarm was canceled. Yeah. Okay. So Sean, what up? I saw Sean is here, and I saw he sent me a text message just now. Um, I am a, I'm a car guy through and through, and there are like, I want to say it doesn't matter what it is, but there are certain things where I'm just like, oh my god, what is that? Like there's a guy that lives up the street from me. He has a Supra, and I hear him coming down the street every day, and I'm like, there goes that Supra again. There goes that. There's two different Corvettes that are up the street. C4 Corvettes, the ones with the solid shooters. They're not the good ones. They were like the in between Corvettes. They're definitely not the good ones. And there's a red one and a white one, and I wonder if they're owned by the same person. But they come down the street and I can hear them coming, and I know which one it is or what they are. So I can definitely can appreciate a decent sounding LS. But as a car guy, you would think that I would not be into electric vehicles, but bruh, the electric vehicles will pin you to a seat just like an internal combustion engine will and does. And I think the reason why there's so many people that are against excuse me electric cars is because they haven't ridden in one. They're like, I'm not going to ride in that fancy electric car, blah blah blah. Nope. I'm telling you, these, Jimmy, I'm sure you've seen at the racetrack you go to, or the drag strip you go to.
yeah
These electric cars will come out and put a spanking
on a lot
on.
of cars.
Oh my gosh!
They will. They
My
will.
car is not even that fast, and I will. Somebody who you know, isn't ready or isn't on the light. Oh, I catch folks sleeping all the time, and that's another thing too. Like on the highway, the the torque from the electric car is unparalleled. When I say I can punch it and it will pull from the point where I punch it until 112 miles an hour, it just does not stop. It does not stop. So, anyway, um, yes, look, so Vanner revival, yeah, Jimmy, or excuse me, Russ. I know I'm long overdue. Um, so Taj says, why didn't you build the charging infrastructure at your home? I did, and I do have a charger at home. But the whole thing is, why pay for electricity if I'm getting it for free? So I will do what's needful and um charge my car. Exactly. If I can save a couple of dollars,
Yep.
and it's I won't say it's much faster, but it is like, I won't say it's alone time, but I go to the charger and I sit for half an hour or so, and it's like I'll be able to catch up on a YouTube video or comments or whatever the case may be. And then one of the things too is one of the chargers that I go to is at a Harris Teeter, and at this Harris Teeter they have a beer and wine store. So I'll plug in the car, charge the car, go get a beer, and sit and charge the car, drink my beer, reply to my comments, or watch YouTube, and then I finish my beer and I go on home. So I feel like that's better than going to a bar, if you will. Um, so Russ says, Jimmy, is that a black powder long gun up on the wall? It is black powder.
This I won't say too much about what that is. That's a sword behind it, and that
Yeah.
is a double barrel musket. That that has a history from it. Both of those are from my grandfathers.
All
Um,
right.
that's very old. The barrel on that thing, I mean, it probably shot nails and whatnot. It's paper thin, both barrels on the end of that thing. Of course, you would never consider firing it, but it got brought back actually from Vicksburg. It's that old. And there's documentation that went with it and whatnot. And that's just it. It hung my entire life at my grandfather's house, and I think by the time I was 4 years old, I had to memorize a little
The
saying.
history.
He had
Okay.
questions. He had questions that he would ask for his friends. Um, Culminating, it was used to shoot the damn Yankees. And you thought that was the funniest thing in the world for his little grandson, to tell his friends
The
stuff like
story.
that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's just, and those are kind of relics up on the mantle behind me back there. That's what all that's going on up there.
All right. Sean, I know I said what up, but I'm gonna excuse me, I'm gonna say it again through the yawn. He said, "What up? What up?"
Laura!
Oh my gosh, you're funny, Jimmy. You're funny. Sean said he's entertaining family, so he can't stick around, but he'll try to catch the replay. All right, I'm gonna need a comment replay gang. Angela said, "I'm the only one who charges at his house because he visits me, or yeah, she visits me. So I do charge my car at home from time to time when I won't say when it's an emergency and I don't have time to go charge the car, or if I'm just too damn tired to go back out. Typically,
Does does she have one at her house? Or wait a
she
minute.
does.
We,
She
we
does.
don't. Oh, you've heard. I know. I know. You don't have to say it. I know. Okay, Angela.
Damn it, Jimmy. We're having a moment there, man.
Yeah, but
It-
I
it's,
had to catch up with the girl.
oh, oh,
See, there you go.
oh.
You're welcome, Angela.
Keon, what's going on, man? How you doing this evening? Man.
Look,
Anyway,
look,
so
I'll come up.
uh,
I've never been to Angela's either. I'll come up and we'll, we'll make a trip one day.
yeah, I'll meet you at Angela's. Her house
Oh,
is
good.
closer to you than it is
Okay,
me.
okay.
Um, so damn. So Taj, I do have a charger, and I installed the charger. So I got my car in June, at the end of June, 2022, and damn, man, I'm still reliving that. So I got my car in June 2022, and I installed the charger like October 2022. So I've had the charger, excuse me, at the house for that entire time, but I mainly really only charge my car at home during the winters and or when it was an instance where I needed to charge the car to 100% so that I could travel. Other than that, there's a charger 15 minutes in one direction and 15 minutes in the other direction that I could charge at for free. So I would literally um, drive 15 minutes, and you know how some people, I'm gonna say some people go to the gym, but it was like I would get up in the morning, like let's say um, four, like sometimes 4:45 in the morning, and be out the door by 5, be at the charger by 5:15, be finished charging by 5:45, be back home by 6, logged on at 6:02 for work. And then, whatever I had to do for that particular day. But then I got tired of getting up earlier in the morning. It was a little harder. So what I would do is basically before I went to bed, I would like, all right, like after the live stream, there have been times where, excuse me, there have been times after the live stream where I would, end the live stream and then I would go out and charge the car. But now I just try to make sure that the car is charged, especially with the fact that Mrs. Dash goes to work multiple days a week. She goes into work 3 days a week. It used to be where she used to go into work only 2 days a week. So I would go in on Monday, she would go in on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday it was just taking Taste Us number 3 to school, and or other errands, and then the weekend usually if I needed to do something, if I had like deliveries or something, um, I would I would get up on Saturday morning, like as I was cooking, I would get the food started and settled, and then I would go and charge the car in that initial, hour, 2 hours while everything was in the smoker and didn't have to be touched. And then by the time I got back home, I could do whatever it is I needed to do. And then during the winter, especially, I would spend my time sitting in the car, being warm in the car as opposed to sitting out in the garage, cold, freezing my tail off. So, um, yeah. So George says they've been doing Formula E racing since 2020 and just started an electric powerboat racing circuit last year. So I haven't heard about the electric powerboat racing, but is Formula E. So I want to say a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the technology from IndyCar, from racing period, has trickled down to mainstream vehicles. So Formula E stuff is no exception. It's a lot of those things from those cars have definitely trickled down. uh Fat and Happy said he's good. He said he woke up late, went out to eat. uh Quentin says they're installing a brand new EA charger at the Home Depot near me. He said, "Hey, yo, nice, nice, nice. The one we went to, Quentin. So they must be upgrading from the 150s to the 350s. Uh, well, drink, yeah. Quentin, you didn't respond to my text message, or maybe you did, and I was busy. No, you didn't respond to my text message. Okay, I thought this was the one. Um, I like how I can see. Yo, so funny. I can see Taj sent me a text message with the picture. I said, "Yo, man, when you get a chance, he's on a Samsung phone. I can tell because it does the picture-in-picture thing." Thanks, Taj. Uh, thank you, sir. Sean, I think it's dope. You take away stuff. Straight out the box from out. Yeah, and this is the alarm. All right. Da-da-da-da. Grumpus says rearview mirror is a perfect example of. Oh, yes, race car stuff that trickled down to regular car stuff. Good evening, everyone. Quentin says late. Oh, hold up. Grumpus is at his lake house.
Yep. We're on the river tonight.
Are those birds of paradise on your shirt there?
I don't know. You tell me.
No. Maybe
I don't
not.
know. It's something.
He said it's a shirt.
Just a work uniform.
A work uniform. I wish my work uniform was Hawaiian shirts and flannels. Actually, I don't, but
I get to make the dress code.
This is my uniform, according to my wife. If my shirt doesn't say Still Drone Smokers, it might say Cindy's Hot Shots. That's like all I wear. And I have some new bowling shirts coming, guys. New bowling shirts.
Whoa.
Yeah, I ordered. I mean, don't get excited now. They're the same, but I ordered new ones.
Do I need to
Yeah.
order them big?
You need to order what?
Do I need to order them big?
There you go.
Wow.
There you
Jimmy,
go,
how you
Grump.
doing tonight?
Wow. Hold on.
Good, good.
Wait, let me find the comment because this was look. Shots fired.
There you go.
oh man.
Oh,
Russ
it's a
says
tag
ouch.
team now.
Man. Shoot. So technically I ordered a bigger size. But it had been 5 years since I ordered shirts. 5 years. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. No, Grumpus is not getting a medium shirt. He There's one person who is ordering the medium shirt, and his name rhymes with Linton. We're gonna let him be since it rhymes with Linton. So, but dude, yeah. When I reached out, I reached out to Jamie, who I ordered the shirts through last time. And I'm like, hey, I'm long overdue. I want to get some new shirts. So she's like, oh, let me see if that style is available. I'm like, sure. So she's like, yeah, they are. So she's like, all right. Sure. It's just you. But one of the things that we talked about was being able to start or create a store through her company and use her company to fulfill orders for you guys if you wanted to place an order for like a shirt like this, right? Like this long sleeve t-shirt or something like that has the logo on it. You guys can order through her store. So we're just talking about it right now. We haven't set anything into stone, but just kind of a heads up that might be coming within the next 3 to 6 months, because you know how I do. Nothing I do is ever fast. So,
Now, would that be a steel drum T-shirt, or could we get a Grumpus T-shirt?
Hey, now you're talking.
Too, see.
I don't know. Grumpus, does Grumpus have T-shirts?
No, he does
Grumpus,
not.
Grumpus
I had a handful embroidered, but I didn't like the way they came out.
Oh, there we go. I'm like, I know there's a sticker on this thing. Grumpus does stickers and stickers. I know I had a pen within arm's reach at one point, but it is, let's say, gone by the wayside.
I'm not even sure that I have a Grumpus sticker on the refrigerator over there. On
Oh
the beer
my God!
I don't know how you don't.
I know. Me into depression.
I know.
He said you're gonna throw him into depression.
We'll take care of that, Grumpus. We'll take care of that. Look,
Grumpus has the most stickers ever. He's got small stickers and medium stickers and bumper stickers and
I'm afraid I'm about to get that way too, man.
I got me some rainbow stickers the other day.
Tattoos, temporary tattoos. My girls love them.
Now I like that idea.
Sticker
Jimmy,
Mule,
who are you ordering your stickers through currently?
Sticker Mule.
I gave up on Sticker Mule. They pissed me off, and I was like, nah. So I'm using Sticker Giant, I think it is, or I used Sticker Giant for the last order. And I swear, it's one of those things where I was like, Sticker Mule pissed me off, and I was like, all right, you know what? Nope. I'm changing. I was like, I'm going to. So I changed, and I'm like, God they're not as good as Sticker Mule.
Well,
Damn it!
and
You
you
might
know,
have to get past that.
Oh, I don't
honestly,
want to.
most
Well,
of
when
the stickers I get rid of when I do an event or something, I'll spread a handful out
Okay.
around the food, and people
Oh.
pick them up and whatnot.
Listen,
But
I do
yeah.
the same. Now I will never. I won't say I will never, but I still have my Vistaprint cards. And the last bunch of cards, I actually got a QR code printed on the back of the cards, and I kind of did a small run of. I'm trying to think how many. I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the card to see what I need to cover up. But I mean, I did a small run
There you go.
of
Yeah.
QR code because I'm like, all right, what, like, how do I get people to go wherever? And now I'm trying to think, where did I have it go to?
Well, people who scan those just see where they go.
Oh my God, yeah,
Just see if it works or not.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this goes out to my website. Is where I have it. This one going to. But that was the thing. I say I couldn't remember, but I'm like, all right, for the folks that are just plain lazy, let me see. But my cards, they're still the same. I printed them vertically just to be different. And then, of course, everything that I have on the back and then a QR code. So, there you go. Boom.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
that, I really have taken to heart for years what you said about cards and handing them out and
Bro,
whatnot.
I give them out like
Two at a
like
time.
confetti.
Always two at a time.
Here's the thing.
Three
Right
at least
now,
at a time.
I do pretty much what I want to do right now and work full time too.
Yep.
Now when I retire, I probably will print up cards and do a lot more cooking than I do right now. But
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
It's just it's hard for me to do both because I never know, this is one of those things where you don't know whether you're going to work nights or not. You may, I may have to go in later tonight. I got awakened night before last. We had an 80-year-old guy that ran off from a nursing home about a mile from my house. That
couldn't find him.
Yeah, we found him. He had walked off into the woods and lay down and gone to sleep. And it took 3 hours to find him, but that's one of those things that you just never know. You never know. That was at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, I'm not like you, Dash. I need my beauty sleep. I'm sorry.
Like, I'm gonna just be ugly for the rest of my life.
You just be pretty all the time. You don't have to sleep for it. I guess.
No.
Much.
I don't need beauty rest. I just need sleep.
Well, as long as you can get 2 or 3 of us on here, you can go ahead and take a nap. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. We'll wake you up when it's over. That's right.
It don't stop, huh, Jimmy? It don't stop. It don't stop. Damn. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna splash a little bit more over this ice since you I'm gonna say talking reckless, but
well, I didn't wait on you. I started before you, so.
Well, I'm not mad at that.
Oh, I understand. I understand.
I'm trying to get down.
My guy has been nice lately. He cut me off there for a little while. I couldn't have anything, but
look, I understand because
coming back.
We back. He said, "I'm back, baby."
That's right.
Back. Oh, we got some sipping to do on this one.
There you go.
There
you go. And Laura hadn't shown up, so you don't have to worry about it. Don't worry. I tried to call her up early, and it just didn't work.
Speaking of, I'm taking my indigestion pill right now.
Well, she's not that bad.
But she just keeps up with the count.
Yeah, she does. Definitely. So it's funny. TJ said, "Make sure my ringer is on." Oh, wait, here it is. Make sure my ringer's on so someone can call you when I fall asleep. So my phone is on Do Not Disturb every Wednesday from 9 p.m. I think until like 11:15 or 11:30. So if you ever need to call me, you have to call and it'll probably go to voicemail, and then you have to call right back, and that will go through to Do Not Disturb. So for my cousin, who probably will be the most likely to call me, um, oh boy.
Well, Jimmy, have you lost a little weight?
Funny you should say that.
You're
Yes.
looking good, man.
Yes, I have lost 25 pounds.
Excellent, excellent.
It wasn't anything I did, and I do not recommend this diet for anyone.
Well, I
But
guess there's that.
One out of 10, do not recommend, right, Jimmy?
No, absolutely. But I listen. I feel good. I feel as good as I have in years.
You're looking good, man.
I've been very blessed. I've come along as good as Grumpus did. We watched your
Yeah.
progression.
Yeah.
You were
listen,
white as a sheet in that first video.
You
where
can't
came
keep
back
us
and
old
tell us-
farts down.
I know.
Dude,
It just we're not
listen.
ready to
We
retire
got stuff
yet.
to do.
That's it. That's it. So, but yeah, I have, and honestly, I haven't talked a whole lot about it, but I was really blessed. I had people really
Far
literally
and wide.
all over the
Far
world.
and wide.
Yeah. Praying for
Understand.
me and whatnot. And
Checking on you, making sure you was good.
that's right. And that's really humbling when you go through an experience like that.
I know.
You go through an experience like that, and
Very overwhelming.
It really is. It really is. Because and especially in our business, because most of the time you go through and you really don't think, you run into that person occasionally that says, "I just want to thank you for what you do," and you do. You run into people like that, which is nice. But for the most part, most of the people I deal with are not the most friendly people in the world, and don't have the best to say to you, and this is my 32nd year of this, so it um you can get really a slanted view on people, and that is the thing, and Dash has a lot to do with it. I give Dash a lot of credit for that, because a lot of the people in barbecue that I've met, and this barbecue family, I tie to Dash.
Oh.
Because a lot of these people I met through Grumpus, I met you through Dash.
Probably so, yeah.
And the barbecue family,
The community is very small.
Really, we do not compete with each other. Everybody's willing to give you a hand or advice, or help you out on how to do whatever, and are actually concerned about you. It is one of the best groups. We pick at each other, but that's like you. That's like you and I, Dash. You were number 16 on
Yeah.
on my
subscriber.
on my subscriber list. You were number 16. In fact, you had a lot to do with the name I picked out, because remember when I was first getting started, we did a live stream. A lot of the time was spent, let's help Jimmy find a name, and we looked, and there was Blue Smoke this and this and that and the other, all kind of stuff that came up. And then we came up with this.
Thin Blue Smoke, or I remember.
All kind of stuff. And this has been now what, more than 5 years ago, I guess.
I was gonna say 6 or 7, maybe.
Yeah. So, but for people who are just around the edges and really haven't participated in this, or have gotten involved in the barbecue community, you really don't realize what the people involved are about, until you get into something like this. It really is. has been something.
You said it best, humbling and overwhelming at the same
It
time.
is. It is. It really is.
It's one of those things where it's like I won't say I know that something could happen to me, and that the outpouring of support that I would receive or hope to receive would be overwhelming. And I'm glad that I haven't had to I would say experience or go through something. But the last time I went through something medically that was the last time I went through something medically that put me in the hospital, let's say, if I would have been, and it actually was 11 years ago, and it was around this time 11 years ago that I went into the hospital. I went to the hospital for an outpatient procedure, and they're like, "Oh, hey, guess what? You're staying overnight." And had I been doing YouTube more at the time, like had I been as far along, I probably would have been. But what I went through is pales in comparison to what both of you separately have gone through. And not to take anything away from either of you, but I hope to not have to go through
Oh,
something
I
absolutely.
hope
that
you don't either.
brings
I
that
do too.
that brings the community to around. I mean, but then
You should you
I
should
could be
probably share that barbecue recipe with me just in case.
I got you.
If things don't work out, somebody ought to have that.
so let me just tell you, Grumpus, there are a select few that have been graced with certain
Oh, I don't want to hear
recipes.
about them.
Uh, he said, "F them.
It'll like the
It
it'll
ain't
like
me.
it'll
It
like
ain't
the
me."
it'll like the farmer said about rain. I'd rather see it than hear about
That's right.
That is some old country bumpkin shit right there. I'd rather see it than hear about it.
That's right.
Man, that is a southern saying if I've ever
That's
heard
it.
one.
That's it.
Man, that is buddy. I'm gonna have to remember that one.
We had an
Like
old
the
farmer. That's where
old
it came
farmer.
from. We had an old farmer that's what he said about rain. I'd rather see it than hear about it.
Damn, damn. That's deep right there. Like that's deep on many levels. Like, damn. Because he was telling the truth. Like, nah, man, don't you tell me about it. I need to. I'm from Missouri. I'm from the Show Me State.
There you go.
Man, damn. But yeah, Grumpus, I tell you what, there have been and there are a few people where I've sprinkled some of the recipes out to, or some of the seasoning combinations to my kids aside. Uh and I've talked about this before where I'm like, I never wanted to force what it is I'm doing on them. So I never was like, you need to know what it is I'm doing. I'm just like, hey, if you want to hang out while I'm seasoning this is what I use. This is what I do. This is how I do it. I never wanted to be that overbearing parent that was living vicariously through their kids. And
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to do that. I don't want them to um not envy, not
Jealous.
regret. Yeah. My annual bonus. I wish I got a bonus.
Yeah,
Okay.
what
Ain't
is
that the
that?
truth? I'm not sure.
I wish
I've
I
heard
got a
about
bonus.
Is that one of them mythical things that romps through the woods or what? I've never seen
Listen,
one.
my wife, well, said she got a bonus. She used to get a bonus. She hasn't gotten a bonus pretty much since COVID. But it's one of those things. No, I wish I could say I could count on a bonus every year, but Never. Yeah. So you know what? I take that back. At the range, I get a bonus. I've gotten a bonus, and that bonus is basically it works out to be because I only work part time. It works out to be about 2 weeks salary, if you will, which is nice. You know, a nice little bump at the end of the year. I'm like,
Hey,
whoa, wait a minute.
and
Listen,
any found money's good money.
oh my
and
gosh,
hey,
man, for sure,
and live rounds that you find, that's a bonus
bruh.
too.
Listen, I tell people all the time, I am not too proud to pick up rounds. I picked up 10
You
rounds. I picked up, I won't say picked up off the floor because they weren't on the floor. They were in the dud cup. Okay. Every now and again we have a little bin and every now and again I look through the dud cup, if you will. Because it used to be a cup, but then the cup ran over and then we have this bin. So but I still call it the dud cup because it started out as a cup. So every now and again, I look through the Dud Cup, and I was looking through the Dud Cup on Sunday, and it was someone had just cleaned it out. Like they just cleaned it out, and there wasn't much in there. And I'm like, oh, look, a 9 mil round, and oh, it wasn't even like there's no primer strike. Bet, oh, another one. I picked up 10 rounds out of the Dud Cup that were unspent and no light primer stripe because typically it's like a light primer stripe, and I'll pick them up and I'll try them a second time because anything that look, I say it all the time. If it seats, it yeets. Okay, my mechanics love putting them light primer strikes are no match for my mechanics. Okay, but
Yep.
I took them 10 rounds and I was like, well, let me just run them. Damn it. I should have actually not just
And
run them, and I should have actually put up a target. I should
we
have.
we have our own range at work, and
Oh,
every year we shoot duty rounds
oh
to
yeah.
to qualify, so everybody gets fresh rounds once a year, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk that
Oh
we
yeah. The firing line
and
afterward,
yeah,
because you got to
absolutely.
clear it. Show, make
That's
ready,
right.
blah blah blah. Show clear. Boom.
That's right.
Listen, I
That's right.
never lose track when I've done competitions or I've done something. I never lose track of my round. Oh, I'm picking that thing back up.
That we shoot gold dots, so that's not a cheap round.
Mm-mm.
So
Nope.
I take the empty boxes they put in the trash cans, and I'll put them back in the boxes and save them. And it's the
Oh,
same way. You put a mag full, and every one of them goes off. It's so
listen, Jimmy, I'm gonna have to. So I don't know, if you have checked out the second channel or not,
I
but
have.
okay,
I'm subscribed. I watch most of them. I may not
okay,
comment on all of them, but I see it.
all right. So there is an ammunition. It's called Liberty ammunition. This this round is this ultralight round. Get you some of that. I did a video shooting the Liberty ultralight ammo. It is plus P
Yeah.
and it is super light. It's all of like 50, I think it's 54 grams is the weight of the actual bullet. And it's supersonic and it's even faster than that gold dot spear. Um, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how light it is. Um, I have a full 20 some odd round mag in my pocket almost at all times, and it feels like the weight of an empty mag, even though it's loaded with 20 some odd rounds.
Good.
Um, and my carry pistols, they feel like they're not loaded, um, because of how light they are, versus the spear. I did a comparison of the weight of like ball ammo. I don't think I did like the spear, but I did the ball ammo, and it's half the weight, which basically makes it feel like it's not there at all.
It's in multiple calibers. That Liberty
Um,
Light,
I know for
or
yes,
just a
I've
nine.
seen it in 380 and I've seen it in 9 mil. I'm not sure if they have it in 45, but I know for sure I've
That
seen
would
it
be.
in 380 and 9 mil.
Yeah, I'm on a platinum carry
Okay.
most of the time, personal.
All right. Quentin said I get my annual bonus next week. Our fiscal year ends before the summer hits. Have you been at your current position for a year? Travis! Oh, there he is. He said, "Hey, yo, what up, Travis? How you doing, man? I'm envious of your two-tone vehicle and your trip to Alpine. What is it? Volks Fair? Alpine Volks Fest. I'm bummed. Okay.
I'll be
Russ
right
said,
back.
I'm all
Doorbell.
right. All right. Oh, this guy, he's funny. Hold on, let's see where does this QR code take us? Oh, it takes us to his YouTube channel. I wonder if it takes us to the subscribe page on his YouTube channel. Yeah, it does. I'm already subscribed. Yo, it has been quite a while.
Can't help you. I'm there.
Yeah. Russ said he wants a reloader. You don't need a reloader. You need to just get better. Scrog says, "What's the name of the other channel, please?" Oh, here I'll do you one better.
Off the grill.
Off the grill. Yeah, I'll just send you the link. Because it's easier. That is the. Oh no, shoot! That link is probably not going to work. Darn it! Hold on. I'm sorry. That link is not going to work. Come on. Why is it so? It's like it's difficult to. New tab. I'm sorry.
Steven, you still here?
I know, right? You're funny. Here it is. So, because of the fact that, of course, because of the fact that I'm here, it it took me. I'm gonna say, it took me to the wrong link. But yeah,
There you go.
there's the link. Off the Grill by SDS BBQ. Oh my gosh, look. There's Steven. He's,
Yeah.
he is
Yeah.
on
I
it.
told you. I
Steven
told you.
be on it. Steven, I cannot thank Steven enough. Like seriously.
He's the man.
Yo, definitely. He's like the AA, the administrative assistant you didn't know you needed, but he's always there. Like
He
for
is.
real. Steven,
Yeah.
I so appreciate you. And I know I say it, but I know everyone in our community does appreciate Steven's contributions to just when it's like, oh man, we start talking about something and Steven's right there. Boom, 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 boom. Here's the link of the video he's talking about. Or here's the other channel that he's talking about. I definitely want to give
You,
Steven
you,
his flowers.
you kick out a video, there's Steven.
Yo, bruh.
There's Steven.
Steven will comment. Definitely. Scrog, yeah. I won't say I'm in my AR9 phase. I just recently built an AR9 and I'm going through the woes of this AR9 that I'm putting together. I wanted a PCC and it was one of those things where it's like, all right, I wanted a PCC and I'm like, all right, I want a 9 mil PCC and I wanted it. Those are the three things basically. So I was going to purchase one. There is a Smith and Wesson PCC that came out not too long ago, and I was like, oh man. And I thought I was gonna do cheaper by building it. No, no, no. But the
Mhm.
the carbine that I built, it works, but there were some mistakes uh, that I made. So it's funny, Scrog. You mentioned that Banshee 9mm. That is the upper I ended up using. So the upper and the BCG and the charging handle are all CMMG Banshee 9mm components. I changed my charging handle, but the BCG and the upper, I ended up having to use. Oh, speaking of which, I need to put. I have my. Oh, before I forget, I need to put it in my range bag. I need to put the bolt, the old. I don't say the old bolt, but I need to put the bolt in my bag because the guy who told me about the bolt, when I told him all the issues I had, he said, "Oh, he's like, so you don't need that one?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "I'll buy it from you. I'll buy it from you." I'm like, "Bet I'll recoup that $200 for sure."
Say less. Say less.
I told him, I said, "I will put it in my range bag and bring it to you next Sunday."
I went to the FN factory in Columbia. They were trying to sell us the P90.
Really?
And we actually got to go and shoot on their underground range at the factory in FN. That was a trip. But that started a want for me. I will never end up
the P90. That's the 5.7.
That's that special round they built the gun around. That was the penetrate stop round.
That's the 5.7. It's a 5.7.
Yeah.
So how about I shot one 2 weeks ago?
It's wild, isn't it?
Bruh.
It's wild.
The one that I shot was full auto.
Yeah, and so were these, and they took us to their underground range, but they had my gun, and I will never end up with it ever in my life. But they had them sitting up on post. That factory is the place that all the Maduses come to be rebuilt, and redone,
refurbished.
And yes, and that 50 cal bump 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 bump. That got me. That was the first time I had ever been that close and actually fired one. And
I have not fired a 50 cal yet. That is that I've done plenty. I'm gonna say plenty of full auto, but I've done Mac 10. I've done like MP5s. I've done that P90. I did the whatever rifle is full auto that shoots 308. I've done that one, and it's not a M16. It might be an M4. No, an M4 is the
M4 is the full auto.
16 or 15.
Yeah.
I don't know what the designation
the
is.
308. What would be that's the M14.
Okay.
M14's a 308.
I shot the M14.
Yeah, that's more like a carbine.
No, it was like AR, regular rifle. Yes.
In a 308 AR platform.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it just could have been
belt fed. It was ridiculous.
Oh, belt fed.
Well, yeah, it was belt fed because the guy who the guy who used to own the range that I work in, his son still has a FFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he gets things as an FFL that aren't 100% legal, and one of the things
you can get away with it.
Exactly. So he brought in the M14 and he's like, here's 50 rounds.
Yeah.
On a belt. And he was just giving everybody, everybody who was at the range that day, he was like pointing to them, come here, here's 50 rounds. Here's 50 rounds. But yeah.
It could have been a lot of things though.
No. It was
at 308. No, but I mean that 308 that's belt fed could be several. More military.
It was definitely, I believe it was military. So Scrog said an M240. I don't know. I think it was an M14. I think it was an M14. Look, don't give me the lion.
Could have been. It could have been a 14. Let me look.
If only there were a device, Jimmy. Right?
Yeah. and I said that I would pursue. The M14 was what I was talking about. That's more carbine. There is, well, nah, no. There's a newer version of that M14, but and that's 7.62, which is basically 308. But there, it won't come. I can see it. I can see it in my head. I think I know what you're talking about. But
So
I can't tell you what it is.
The 308 is 7.62 by 51.
Right.
Where the AK round is 7.62 by 39.
Right. It's a shorter round.
The AK round is shorter.
Right.
But for all intents and purposes, 7.62 by 51 is and will work in a 308.
It'll fire. I think it'll chamber it. I'm not sure. Yeah, we had a guy in Kentucky come out of a motel room firing those AK rounds at us. They were ricocheting off the asphalt. That was fun.
Sure. Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well, I hate to say I left a rifle in Kentucky. He didn't make it, but sure did. That was interesting.
All right, let's see. Fat and Happy says, I have a Beretta PX4. I want an AR, but no clue on which one to get. So, best thing I can tell you to do is go into your LGC or LGS, local gun store, and have about between $750 and $1,000 as a budget. And you can get something basic off the wall, and then you'll have to start doing your customization and your, as far as an optic probably,
and you can
or sights, and then you can learn. That's exactly what I did.
You can start cheap, something like maybe a Bushmaster or Olympic, or there's a lot of brands that you can buy reasonable.
Man, listen, the AR platform is like a dime a dozen at this point.
Oh yeah.
And
absolutely.
definitely AR-10. I mean, our base model AR is from a company called Great Lakes, but it depends on where you are. Because of the fact that you're in Texas, you might be able to get something local to you that is again sub $1,000. I'd say maybe even look into something used. Okay, don't poo on a used firearm. I know there's some people that poo on the used firearms, and I'm like, dude, you can get a great deal. Let somebody else take that depreciation hit. Get a great deal on something used. And because of the fact that you are in Texas, you can probably get even better a deal than I can. But like I said, between $750 and $1,000 for something new, and then you'll have to outfit it with some sights, so pop-up sights or an optic, and then you might want to go down a rabbit hole of changing out the trigger, changing out like the hang guard, or adding like a vertical grip or some sort of like a different stock, or whatever. Just so the best way I've been able to explain it is firearms in general, or ARs in particular, are like cars. Once you start modifying it, you're gonna go down a rabbit hole. Once you get one, you're gonna be like, oh, I can do this, I can change this, I can do this, I can update that. And you can go down that rabbit hole of everything that you can update and modify and personalize, to make it kind of your own. So Let's see. They fired 50. Call overhead. Oh, 50 count. Overhead. Belt 249 saw. Dude, don't give me the line. They are typically. Oh my gosh, yes. I say the same thing. I tell you, it's so funny. Scrog says this. The AR is typically referred to as adult Legos. I tell people all the time, it's like Legos all the time. That's one of those things I say. It's like Legos. You can take it apart, you can put it back together, you can take this component off of this thing and put it on that thing, and it just works. It works. For the most part, it works. We have a new person training doing the firearms application, and he screwed up my daughter's paperwork, and she had to resubmit everything all over again. And I'm waiting on my pistol at 2 months. Gosh. Ooh, goodness gracious. Listen, I know, so for the most part, recently, and when I say recently, probably for the last 6-8 months, I've been primarily the range safety officer on Sundays. Like, I am in the box on the range, the only one out there. And I helped someone do paperwork this past Sunday, and I messed up. I know I messed up because when I realized it afterward, but when you do the paperwork, you have to do like a submission to attach the background check, and I don't remember doing that. So I'm hoping that someone caught it when they reviewed the paperwork. But if they didn't, that guy is gonna be trying to come back on Sunday, and we're gonna have to start his paperwork on Sunday, and he will have to wait an additional 7 days. Sorry. So, but oops. Yeah. Yeah. Maryland is funny. I want to do a video on how to purchase a firearm in the state of Maryland. I think that'll be I don't know. It might be a thing.
No, but that'd be a good one. That'll give people a framework, even no matter where they're from.
No, because it's different for the state of Maryland than it is elsewhere. Like you in South Carolina and you Grumpus in Texas, the restrictions are different than what we have in Maryland. We have to jump through multiple extra hoops in order to purchase a pistol in Maryland. Multiple. It's unfortunate and it's a cash grab. Maryland has their hand out for any and every step of the way, which is horrible. So Quentin's a good job. I know. I realized afterward, and it was one of those things where I realized, it's like when you leave the house, you're like, did I turn off the oven? Did I turn off the iron? It was one of those things where I'm like, did I?
What happened was,
did I put the paperwork in?
They call that birthdays. Yeah,
that's what they do.
Yeah.
Listen, yeah, Scrog says waiting period. He said it's lame. I agree. Scrog, are you in Maryland? Scrog 13. What is your name? So I can stop calling you Scrog. Russ is a good idea. Yeah.
That's another country word.
Scrog?
Scrogging.
What's scrogging?
You don't want me to say.
Tom. Okay. Send me a text message afterward. So Scrog says currently in Texas. Tosh is buying a gun in Pennsylvania. It's easy. I'm not in Pennsylvania. I'm not a Pennsylvania resident. Don't tell me how easy it is there, because I might have to hit you with the read between the lines, okay?
You just got to know which alley to park in.
Let me just tell you.
That's all.
I
Go to.
I will not. So let me all right. So let me just tell you this, right? In Maryland, in order for you to be able to purchase a pistol, it has to be approved. Okay, approved, and you're like, what's approved? Like, why would it need to be approved? You say, right? There's a licensing board, and each and every single firearm, or technically pistol, I won't say firearm, technically every pistol that is sold or can be sold in the state of Maryland legally has to be approved, which means that anytime a new pistol, so a new manufacturer or manufacturer comes out with a new pistol, we have to petition the firearms approval board or licensing board in order to allow it to be approved and put on the roster, which is the list, right? There's a particular firearm that I purchased that's a collector's edition firearm, and Canik comes out with a new collector's model every single year. There's nothing internally different about the firearm. It is simply paint that is different. The paint on the outside of the firearm is different. And because it's a collector's edition, a signature series collector's pistol, it has to be approved. This year's collector's edition, no one has gotten it put on the roster because everyone else is like, oh, someone else will do it, but no one else did it. So I've been waiting for this pistol that I purchased for almost 6 months. Almost 6 months. I purchased it, but I can't bring it home. I can't start my paperwork on it because no one else has put the paperwork in. So I reached out to the licensing board myself and I said, hey, here's the thing. Blah 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 blah. And I started talking to the lady who's the administrator. And I said, well, I'm going to put in a petition for each and every single pistol that Canik manufactures because there's three different. There's a compact, a full size, and then a full size long slide. Right. I'm going to put in this petition for all three of them for future. And she said, well, that's a great idea. So if it goes through, I will be the one that I can say I petitioned and got all of the newer, the signature series pistols on the Maryland roster. And I'm like, that's my, I won't say claim to fame, but I can say I did that. I
You
did
need
that.
to reach out to Canik and tell them that story. Maybe they'll send you a new one every year.
Ugh,
There you go.
if only. If only, okay? Maybe when my channel gets a little bigger. All right, Scrock's a nickname back from high school. He said mid to late 80s. Oh boy. All right, so let's see. Hugh.
Hey fellas, how we doing?
All right, how you doing?
Well, as far as I can tell, this is like a barbecue stream.
It is, but so the thing is, Hugh.
We backslid.
We always backslide. So the whole thing is I do barbecue, but I do other things too. So usually for the first hour or so, we talk about barbecue, typically, or barbecue business related. And then the second hour, as you see, we're talking about firearms right now because squirrel.
Well, yeah, it sounds pretty nice.
All right.
May I introduce like a subject, if that's all right?
Sure. Feel free.
How do you guys feel about sous vide?
I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it. And I don't know, Jimmy, do you do any sous vide?
I have a brand new one in the box that's never been out of the box.
Come on, man.
Honestly,
Grumpus?
I really do.
Not on the original cook. Now, I'll sous vide stuff out of the freezer.
Grumpus is old, okay? Grumpus is still in black and white. Jimmy has a sous vide, so he's one-upped you, Grumpus.
No, I see. When it comes to sous vide, in my case,
all right.
I've never tasted or eaten a meat that's
Better.
anywhere near as
Yep.
tender
Tender. Yep. So,
as sous vide.
so
But
Hugh,
the only
hold on,
issue,
hold on one second, Hugh.
yeah,
Before you go on, introduce yourself to us so we know who you are, where you're coming from, what you cook on, and things like that, so we can kind of get to know you.
all right. So, I'm from the Midwest. I'm not
All
gonna get
right.
specific.
No problem.
I've lived abroad. I've been to many countries. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But most of my cooking techniques I learned from YouTube.
Okay.
And I've tried barbecue. I've tried, typical stuff with like a frying pan, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to cook fish, but when it comes to meat, I use sous vide, and when it, oh man, it's so good.
Oh yeah.
If you want
There's
the perfect
bite.
temperature within the center of that meat,
Mm-hmm.
sous vide does it, and you don't really have to like wait for it. You can vacuum package it, put it in that vat of water, set your sous vide,
Set
go
it
to
and
work
forget it.
for all day, and then you come back and there it is. The only issue I have with sous vide is that you have to finish it with like a blowtorch,
Yes.
and sometimes it's kind of stinky. So I take it outside, I do that, and then there we go. We got like a whole slab of meat ready to roll.
Totally agree. So I the thing that I do on sous vide that my family loves is picanha. Um, there is no better way to have picanha and or ribeyes are also another great thing that I do via sous vide because that it'll be perfect from end to end and right in the middle at whatever the temperature you set for. So what are you sous videing? Are you doing fish or beef or like chicken? What is it that you're cooking in via sous vide, Hugh?
Well, if I want to save money, I buy a pork tenderloin. But if I
Oh
want to,
yeah.
there's actually a I don't know, organic market near me, and they
Okay.
sell. Imagine like a whole slab of ribeyes, but there's no
Yep.
bone in it. I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
what is
Yeah.
that called. I don't know how to describe.
The it's like a rib roast or a rib, not a rib loin, but I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. And
Yeah.
you just cut it into steaks.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Every so often I'll buy that. You can do chicken. You can do almost anything in it, and you can look up on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
the temperatures and all that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes, because I used to live in Asia, I'll like take various Asian, I don't know, fermented tofu, um, oyster sauce.
Oh yeah.
And I'll marinate that meat for like a day in the
Okay.
fridge. It's fucking amazing, man.
Oh man. Shoot. I can imagine. I can. All right, so hold on one second. Let me catch up on the comments real quick. So my buddy Taj, he said, "Can you buy in PA?" No. You can only purchase, well, typically you can only purchase a firearm in the state in which you reside. Um, as far as pistols, long guns, there are certain restrictions as to what long guns you can purchase. And long gun being a rifle and or a shotgun, but like I can't go to Florida and purchase a firearm, a rifle down there because my state of residence has restrictions on which firearms I can purchase. Now, can I technically buy in Pennsylvania? Yes. But what'll happen is I have to purchase and then have it sent to a federal firearms license dealer in my state, and then they would start the paperwork and do the paperwork and then transfer it to me. So technically, can I? Yes. Is it worth the hassle? No, because I have to pay for shipping, and or if it's something that's like really exotic or really rare or whatever, that would probably be the only extent as to why I would purchase out of state. For the most part, especially because of the fact that I work in the store, I'm purchasing everything at the store, and then I get it like at cost plus 3%. All right, bought an AR from a coworker, had to bring it to a FFL, leave it there, do the transfer paperwork, and wait until the state got back to them. That's exactly it. So, and that's exactly what would happen. So, let's say my buddy Taj was like, "Hey man, he's selling me a firearm. I'd have to have him send it or bring it to the store in Maryland. Maryland, they would have to take possession of it, enter it into their system. I'd have to do the paperwork, um, wait the 7 days. If approved, then I could take it home. So it's not like here. Definitely not like that. All right, so coming back to sous vide, what is your favorite thing to sous vide, Hugh? Just steak or the pork tenderloin?
Well, well, a pork tenderloin's much cheaper.
Yeah.
You can flavor it if you put it in the fridge once
okay.
it's marinated. But when it comes to steak, of course, that's
Yeah.
obviously the choice.
It's so. What type of torch are you running? Are you running like a weed burner from like Harbor Freight, or do you have like the grill gun? Yeah.
No, I just go on. I went on Amazon and I just searched up culinary torch.
Okay.
It's the same kind of torch you would use for like creme brulee.
Yeah, creme brulee.
Yeah, that's what
So I'm gonna tell you, you're doing yourself a disservice. That torch is not big enough, dog.
No, I know. Of course. I'm very aware. And when I do it, I use a lot of fuel and I hold it away from the meat because I don't want any torch taste.
So I think that's another thing too. You said what now?
Would a broiler do the same thing?
It would probably get pretty close, Grumpus. But the broiler is.
I mean, it'd have to be screaming first.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem with the broiler is it would actually cook the interior. But I don't want to cook the interior. I just want to make the outside, crusty. If that makes sense.
And
it makes.
To get that taste, could you not use charcoal and just get it screaming hot and sear it over charcoal?
Yeah, but why would I light up a whole grill with charcoal?
Well,
flavor, Hugh. Flavor. This is what we do.
I have what's it called? It's
a charcoal chimney.
It's the small Weber.
That like Smoking Joe. Smoking Joe.
Yeah, I have a small one of those that my dad used to cook his steaks on for he and my mom, and it does not take that much charcoal, and you can still buy those things. They're
look. So my wife just gifted Taste Tester #1 her Smoking Joe that she won or got years ago, and so. But you can use like maybe half a charcoal chimney and put it into that Smoking Joe, and it'll definitely do your sear work for you.
I think your guys' input is fantastic, but you're talking to a guy who lives in an apartment.
All right.
10 floors up.
Do you have a balcony?
Yeah, but I can't.
You can't. Look, nope.
Yeah, I can't have any fire.
I say Oklahoma Joe. Oklahoma Joe has the charcoal basket, but it's fat. It's not as tall, but it's fat. So that would hold. I do steaks on top of that all the time.
So I know that when I left from my house and moved into apartments before I got my house here, where I currently live in Baltimore, you cannot have open flame or open fire in an apartment building at all.
And let me expound upon the situation. I don't live in the United States.
Okay.
I'm in Japan. Any flame whatsoever, you cannot do that. Yeah. You'll get fucking.
The country's a $10.
So I put my meat.
But what about like the little katsuri boxes or that they use for charcoal? Don't they have like little boxes that you can?
Yeah, of course, but not in an apartment.
Bro, you need to go. Go out to a park
one of my
or something.
lady friends. One of my lady friends.
Back.
And I hang out sometimes.
He said, "Move back."
Yeah, we do that. But when it comes to sous vide, honestly, that's the best meat I've ever had.
Oh yeah,
it's ridiculous.
You're going to do what you have to do.
I mean, the whole concept makes sense.
I'm doing my best out here.
He said, "Limited resources, drastic measures."
with Dash, we talked about the grill gun. That's probably the biggest thing he
That's
would be able to use.
Yeah.
but even then, it's going to draw attention because I'm sure in Japan it's kind of pretty quiet. I know when I fire up.
Well, hold on. I do it in I put it above my. So I have like a range, right?
Okay.
I have like a steel situation above it because I don't use gas.
Okay.
Electricity is much cheaper. And then I put the meat above it. I turn on the fan, and then I blast it with the blowtorch. And I don't hold it anywhere, in particular for too long.
Yep.
And then it gets crusted. And honestly, like, it's the best meat I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Being in Japan, I've lived in America. Of course, I'm an American, as you can tell by my accent. But it's the best meat I've ever had, and the flavor's amazing.
So how's your Japanese?
Oh, Nihongo shobereru yo.
Oh,
I've always said that.
Skoshi.
Skoshi.
Okay.
Have you
Nihongo
tried?
shoberemasu yo.
Have you tried cast iron?
Ooh.
Cast iron? Yeah, I have a cast iron pan, but I don't really know how to temper it because I don't actually have an oven in this country.
No,
Well,
so you don't
would
need
do
to
an oven.
temper it. You just scream it. You set it on your on the top, turn that thing all the way up and get it screaming hot, sear it, give it 30 seconds to a minute, turn it over, sear it 30 seconds to a minute.
You know, man.
He could sous vide first and then throw it in that screaming
Well,
hot.
that's what Jimmy is talking about.
Yeah.
So you sous vide it first, take it out of the the bag, get your pan screaming hot, your cast iron skillet, and then you just sear it. Make sure you try to even it out because that whatever piece of meat is going to try to dance on you and move around. Just hold it down. 30 seconds, a minute tops.
Yeah,
and then flip that thing over, and that will definitely give you that crust that you're looking for, and it won't give you that flame burnt taste, possibly. So maybe the next time you do something, just try that.
It shouldn't penetrate to the middle either.
Yeah, I don't get that flame, torch taste whenever I do it. I just burn the outside, and I actually have a cast iron pan. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my cast iron pan. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I've been fucking trying to I brought it up to extreme heat, and I took it off with one of my silicone gloves. Beforehand I covered it in oil all over. But it may be from Amazon, maybe maybe cast iron pans from Amazon aren't so nice. But I did my best, and one time I cooked some mochi. You guys know what mochi is?
Yeah, I do.
And it started sticking to the pan. And I was like, what the fuck? Why is mochi sticking to the fucking pan?
Your pan's not seasoned.
Yep. I was just about to say it's not seasoned enough.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. I don't have an oven. Japanese people don't have ovens.
Ovens.
I've never seasoned mine in an oven.
Then what you're going to have to do is this. You're going to kind of have to season it on the range, on the top. So the thing is this, if you ever look at cast iron seasoning videos, most people say you're going to spray it or wipe it down with something and put it in the oven at, let's say, 350, 400 degrees, whatever that is in Celsius, because you're in Japan, and you turn it upside down. What is it, Jimmy?
I'm doing them at 5.
500?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yes. If I use grapeseed oil, it's at 500.
Damn.
Get it screaming hot.
So, all right. So, all that aside, usually you spray it down, wipe it down, flip it upside down, and the whole thing is you want that oil to vulcanize on that skillet, okay? And that's what turns it from that cast iron gray color to that deep black color, right? And but for you on your range, what you might end up having to do is to put it on your range and basically burn the hell out of it on the range upside, with the right side up on the inside. And
so I get that. Yeah. The only issue is my woman is gonna be very happy with me.
Yeah,
it's gonna stink.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I
My mother
season
didn't
my
happen with
pans when
me.
my wife is not home, dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you get a good steak out of
You
it.
know,
that
she
goes
likes
with it.
she likes the tender meat, and she likes my curry recipes and my Chinese noodle recipes. But she's not gonna be okay with me burning a fucking pan at like 500 degrees. You know.
Oh, you're gonna smell it, especially in an
Oh yeah.
apartment. If
Yeah.
you season a pan in
Oh
an
yeah.
apartment, you're
Yep.
gonna smell it.
But
You
it'll
are.
be so worth it. So one of the things that I've read recently and I've been debating is to sand your skillet smooth. Rumpus is shaking his head no.
No, because the seasoning won't stick.
Well, but the whole thing is
It
it's one of
flakes
those
off.
things. So it's like 6 or half a dozen. They're very similar. They're the same, right? It's just the smooth skillets the seasoning won't stick, but your food won't stick. The rough texture pans, the seasoning will stick, but your food won't stick. I watched a guy cook 6 eggs, 3 eggs on sanded smooth skillets, and 3 eggs on rough seasoned skillets, and he only had one seasoned skillet not perform the same way as the other 5. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know. It's a thing. So Hugh, I tell you, you might have to be like, all right, next time she goes out of the apartment for an extended period of time, now's your time to. And I don't use like grapeseed oil or wipe stuff down. I use Pam, just regular old Pam, and I spray my pan after every time I wash it out. I spray the pan with Pam, and I put it on the stove, and I get it
Yep,
hot to the point where it starts to smoke. And
that's
the
the
thing
trick.
is, and the thing is, if you were to put it in the oven, it contains that smoke inside the oven. But because you
Yeah,
don't
but I
have
don't
an
have
oven,
an oven.
yeah, because you don't have an oven, you're going to have to probably put that pan on top of the stove, on the stovetop, spray it or wipe it down with whatever,
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
burn it.
This
But
is
you're
why
just
I
like,
do.
I do
This
it
is
yeah,
just
why
the
I
opposite.
don't do barbecue. This is why I don't do.
yeah.
This is why I do sous vide.
Tru-
This is
Look,
why.
Okay, all
trust
right, all
trust
right.
me, dude.
No,
This is
no,
one.
I don't want to like diminish your contribution.
No, no, no,
I
no, no.
just
Hey,
think that
we're all
it's
open
actually very
minded
good
here.
advice.
Yeah.
Hey, Hugh, this
And
is
I have
one of
people in the
2
comments are
walls.
asking me questions. They're asking me like, so for example, what is it? What time is it? It's like almost 1 o'clock. It's like 12:48 here.
Yeah.
My kid loves mochi. Yeah, of course. Everybody loves mochi. But one issue I had when I was in the United States, most people thought mochi was a form of ice cream.
Yes.
And yeah, it is. But overall, mochi is actually usually served at room temperature with some sort of filling,
Okay.
which is filled with anko. I'm sorry, anku じゃなくて anko. Anko is it's like red beans that are filled with like various flavorings and sugar and beaten to a paste and filled.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of nice. They're usually called daifuku, which means big happiness, because
Hell
they're
yeah.
fucking delicious.
Hell
But
yeah.
yeah,
We get a little baked and happy here.
oh
Right.
yeah, I'm sure you guys do. I'm just
Especially after
saying.
midnight.
All right. So I want to say for those who don't know, so I just looked it up. Mochi is a Japanese rice cake made of mochi nome, a short grain glutinous rice
Mochigome.
that some mochi gome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mochi, mochi gome, a short grain Japanese glutinous rice, and sometimes other ingredients such as water, sugar, and cornstarch. The steamed rice is pounded into a paste and molded into the desired shape. In Japan, it is traditionally made in a ceremony called mochisuki. Yeah.
Mochisuke.
Oh, yeah, mochisuki. Yeah, dude, thank you for interpreting.
No problem. I'm just saying.
I only listen. The extent of my Japanese is from the videos I watch of drifters that go to Ebisu. Look at Jimmy. Look at Jimmy's wall.
That is one of two walls in my house. I have played with cast iron enough to build an E-tank and strip them down to nothing, and then start over and
ship them halfway across the country to fools who start talking about cast iron.
You shouldn't have said cast iron, because that. Be careful what you ask for,
bruh. Listen,
might get it in the mail,
bruh. let me tell you, Hugh. Let me just tell you, okay. So we were here. We were on the live stream one night talking about cast iron, and I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for cast iron. Is kind of like, because I have a 15-inch skillet, and then I have a 12-inch skillet, and then I'm looking for something a little smaller. Maybe they could do like an egg or two. Blah blah blah. Jimmy said, "Say less. I'm gonna send you some pieces from my junk pile." He sent me 2 skillets, and we used those skillets more than we used the other skillets that we already had. But hold on, I'm gonna go get you. Look. I'll be right
back. It's a lot of fun to fool with. I have found cast iron from pawn shops to junkyards, and to take them and refinish them. Some of them I threw away; they had cracks in them, that weren't any good. And I have found some very well-known cast iron brands that were fine.
My favorite cast iron skillet got pulled out of a dumpster. It was a Lodge. Somebody tossed it.
Yep.
It was all rusted up. I sanded it down, cleaned it all up, and I've used it for years. It's my favorite skillet.
Yep. All right. I bought this cute little thing for my wife. She cooked a single egg in this thing. Hold on. Where's you? Let me add him back.
There you go.
There he is.
She cooks a single egg in this thing, and we got it from the market, so it's nothing fancy. So just the regular giant. She loves this little thing. She's like, I could make 1 egg for me, and it's perfect for her. So, but she loves this little thing. And I kind of thought it was going to be a little gimmicky and not actually work. It works. It works.
Yep.
Yep. Cookies.
Hey, sorry. I was actually about to go to bed, but I'm seeing some comments here. Like, Japan has a haunted forest and whatnot.
You love to see anything on here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not offended. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not Japanese, but
like the Olympics, you got to throw the good ones out and the low ones out, and see what's in the middle.
So when it comes to this supposed haunted forest, it's called Aokigahara, and it's pretty close to Tokyo. I'm not going to break TOS, but if you were to compare the American self-unaliving rate to the Japanese self-unaliving rate, the Japanese self-unaliving rate is much higher.
Right? Really?
Oh, significantly so.
Is that because of the culture and the pressure that our, let's say parents or the culture period puts on the Japanese?
So I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they're extremely collectivist. So if you don't act as others act, you get ridiculed. There's a lot of vitriol towards you. You get looked at. There's actually a term in Japanese when people look at you, if you're not acting the way you're supposed to, they look at you with what's called mawari no me. Shiranai hito no. It's like, Strangers' eyes. I think is how.
Oh, okay.
So if I lived here during COVID and I never wore a mask because fuck that. And holy shit, I experienced Mawadi no Me every single day. Like everybody was looking at me like I was an asshole, you know. And I was like, all right, I don't really give a shit about everyone looking at me. I'm just gonna not do it. I'd rather have this conflict than wear a mask, right?
Okay.
So, but yeah, in Japan, if you don't fit in, you're gonna be heavily
ridiculed
to do so. Yes.
Okay.
So the fact that self-unaliving is common in Japan is not particularly, surprising to me. When you look at tobacco abuse, alcohol abuse, men who frequent prostitutes, all these kind of things, all of these things are more common in Japan, right? So I'm not,
they're not
very
broadcasted.
Sorry?
They're not broadcasted. It seems like an open secret.
Well, it's basically what happens in Japan. If you go up to somebody who doesn't know you and you say like, hey, how you doing? They're going to be like, who the fuck are you? Fuck off.
Yeah.
They don't like strangers. They're very insular. And that's kind of a sad thing. That's one of the things since I've been here. I'm like, can you guys just like talk
say
to
hi.
each other? Yeah. They don't say hi, And when I was in America, I was in fucking Chipotle, right? And I'd be like, hey, how you doing? Like, I like your hair, whatever. I don't give a shit. Whatever it is. I would like riff with the register person. But in Japan, they're like, oh, I'm doing a job. Buy this. Okay, here's your change. Blah, blah, blah. They don't want anything to do with that.
Nothing extra.
So, yeah. I feel sad in a way for Japanese people. I think that they're wonderful in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But I wish they were more open. And I feel that personally. Because I'm like,
yeah. Because you want to be you, but you can't be you in that country where no one understands you or no one is, I won't say like you, but no one gets you, if you will. I kind of.
Well, I'm doing okay.
Okay.
Part of the fact that I'm foreign.
Yeah.
It's actually an advantage, honestly.
Because you don't have to conform.
No, I don't have to conform. And I'm kind of exotic. And a lot of ladies here like me. It's kind of nice.
Are you tall?
I'm 6 foot, but that's the average Japanese man 6'7". So I'm tall.
What?
Yeah, they're 6'7". I'm sorry, 5'7" in Japan.
Oh, okay. I'm like, hold on, what?
Yeah, no, they're not 6 feet.
That's what I'm like. Wait a minute, that's not broadcasted on the internet.
No, they're pretty. If I get in a train car and I'm going to like the city, I'm almost always the tallest person in the train. Yeah.
Nice. I'm 6 foot tall too, dog. So, yeah. And I'm black. And I have a beard. Boom.
Actually,
and you carry.
If you came here, your beard would be a disadvantage. People would
really.
Oh no, they don't like beards. Yeah, I have to shave every day
because they can't grow their beards.
Well, even if you can, it's considered because actually, one of my best friends who's Japanese, he can grow a full beard more than my beard.
Okay.
It's fucking it's brutal, but he has to shave every day because if he didn't, he'd be considered dirty.
Ooh.
So like, if I don't shave every day, I'm dirty.
Wow. Look, just like you wouldn't wear a mask, I'm not shaving my beard.
No, I'm not either. I know what's under this.
You got 2 or 3 chins under there, Grumpus. How many?
I have to go back on my old videos to remind myself what it looks like without it.
Look, I have a video. I have videos from 12 years ago now of me shaved. Nope, I don't need that reminder. I'm good. Well, Hugh, I know you said you were getting ready to go to bed. I did just want to take a moment and say thank you for coming on and being brave enough to join us. A lot of folks definitely they linger in the comments and they don't actually join us. So thank you so very much, and we're here every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. For the most part, there's only typically a handful of Wednesdays where I don't do live streams. So if you're ever up in the middle, well, it's in the middle of the day for you, but if you're ever available in the middle of the day and can and are willing to join us on the live stream, on this live stream, like I said, we typically talk about barbecue or something barbecue business related for the first hour. And then, as you saw, we talk about any and almost everything else. Oh, he dropped off. Well, you know,
He's
we
still
talk about
listening.
we talk about any and everything else afterward. Obviously, you see, from Japanese culture to firearms. So I just want to say thank you again, Hugh, for joining us. Definitely was eye opening, and like I said, the extent of my Japanese culture I've gotten from the car guy in me, who watches YouTubers go to Ebisu for the Matsuris, which are the festivals, the parties. Um, the spring Matsuri and the fall Matsuri, and I'm like, one of these days I'm going to get to a Matsuri and just be a spectator because I can't afford to buy a car in Japan. Shit, I can't afford to buy a car here in the United States. I definitely can't afford to buy a car in Japan. So just getting there and being a spectator would be probably like a definite highlight bucket list thing. So, all right, we are at almost three. Well, we are at past the 3 hour mark. Oh my goodness. Jimmy, I know you probably need to get up, and Grumpus,
You
you're an
did.
hour behind us. So it's only 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock for you.
Yeah, I hate that I can't stay up to come on your live stream, Grumpus. I see it the next
Bro.
day. But
Well,
you get started beyond my bedtime. I have to stay up to be up that late.
Mm.
You know,
I didn't want to
one of
step on
those-
anybody else's toes
See,
Saturday night.
that's the thing. Grumpus does that intentionally. He's like, I'm gonna weed out all them East Coasters and only talk to people on the West Coast by starting this this live stream at the time that I started. He got people in Hawaii and Australia checking in because they can actually join the live stream. He know what he doing. He know what he doing.
Okay.
I'm trying to make it convenient so I don't step on anybody else's toe.
Well,
Whatever,
yeah,
Grumpus.
There you go.
I mean, my
Whatever.
second choice was Wednesday nights.
Well, you can definitely do it on Wednesday nights. Look, we can have a
I would not do that to you.
we can have a dual live stream, okay? All right. So here's the. I'm gonna post the if you're still here, I'm gonna post the link to tomorrow's video. And I have to remember. So it's frying and trying different fish to find our favorite.
See you at tomorrow.
Yeah, buddy. All right, well, look, guys, thank you very much, Grumpus, Jimmy. Definitely appreciate you guys for hanging out.
Good seeing
You know,
y'all.
You too.
the replay gang, check in if you're still watching or listening. I know Bumpy, he just listens. He doesn't actually watch. He just listens as he's driving along. So if you're still listening, I would love for you to check in and let us know. I made it to the end. What are we going to have them comment if they make it to the end of the live stream?
Who's you?
Who's you? Yeah. Who's who's you? Where's you from?
Yeah,
Well,
there
dude,
you
I
go.
mean, let me just tell you, I was a little afraid to let Hugh on because
I understand.
oh my god,
There wasn't no
no
individual
video,
there.
no video, and like Hugh, and it's like, is that Hugh or like short for huge? And there's gonna come on and say something that's gonna be like, ah. Let me just tell you, I was like,
Hey, we'd already pulled up the slack. It's okay.
I had my finger on the
There
button.
you
Man.
go. We'd already pulled up the slack. It was ready to
Listen,
go.
let me just tell you, we've had some experiences here with folks who have gotten onto the live stream, and it's just like woo hoo hoo. But you guys are on it for sure. Definitely. But I was like,
You're a
Can't
brave
believe I
man.
let what slide. Oh boy. Can't believe I let what slide. What, Russ? Try CV once, but it turned. Oh, I did see that. I read it in my mind and I didn't post it. He said,
You got to
Russ
put
said
it
he
in a
tried
bag
CV
first.
once, but it turned into a stew. You're right. Hey, look, TJ, you be easy, man. Be careful out there. Thank you so very much. And I mad credit to TJ, Jimmy too, who's been here from like moment one. I definitely appreciate you guys for coming on and hanging out with me. So thanks again, and we'll do this again next week.
See you,
Lord
Dak.
willing, and the
See you,
creek
Jimmy.
don't rise.
Everybody in the chat.
All
Good to
right,
see you.
take care, fellas. All right, peace. End the stream. All right, Jimmy.